All right.
Oh wait, we're up
has it
now?
ended yet? Are we
Yes,
up?
it's
Can
live
I
now.
say penis out loud?
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Neat.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you guys are on.
So,
Hold on, the FAA is gonna get on us.
okay. Uh, quick
The
story.
flight control?
Just as I was running, I went sprinting
Yeah,
out of the
that's
room.
definitely-
I went sprinting out of the room to go
FCC.
grab beer. And my girlfriend's like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "Oh, I'm grabbing beer." She's like, "Oh, I thought it was something important." I'm like, "It is important."
Very important.
yeah, it's
Well, welcome everyone back to our campaign of Misfits and Wonders. This week arriving at Scornubel, the last bastion of trade for our party before they march through the desert to their inevitable deaths at the Well of Dragons.
Is that a desert?
Yeah. Ish.
didn't know
It's
that.
like it's close to the desert, Richard. I have a limited pool of battle maps. Leave it
Okay.
alone. It's gonna be sandy. We blew it up, sealing Tiamat. Anyways, welcome. Just so you guys know, and for everyone watching it in the future, this is going to be a less combat centric session. That being said, there's going to be some blocks of text I'm going to be reading you guys. I don't think we've had that in a while, so bear with me because I am going to be describing some stuff to you within the area. Any questions, comments, concerns before we get started?
I like exposition.
Yeah, quick
I
comment
don't.
for me though. The Federal Aviation Administration.
Yeah, FCC, get over it.
I didn't mean to offend you with the penis joke. I'm sorry.
Yeah, please
Oh
let us
god,
on
I slipped on the
airplanes.
server mute button for Kyle. Okay, there we go.
What?
Fixed it. Sorry, Kyle.
Anyways,
How do you spell Scornubel?
it's on the map right now. That's how I did it.
It's screw and then no.
No, it's not, dude. It's Scornubel.
Screw
Oh
noble.
my god, dude. Okay, let's get into this. Retarded, dude. I hate you guys. Also, audio balancing is going to be a little weird, so bear with me. If it's too loud,
What?
tell me.
It's more my problem than it is your problem, but
Deal with it. Okay. Welcome to Scornubel Party.
oh, I'm super zoomed in.
The once large and bustling town of Scornubel is now something much smaller and disheveled. The busy part, however, seems to hold true. Numerous wagons push their way through the narrow streets as they make their way towards being offloaded at a number of small, dilapidated shops. Turns out that the once prosperous city may have been gosh, I can't read. Prosperous city may have been stunted by the loss of Elturel over a century ago. However, much of its business has now been consolidated into a single small area of dust and chaos. Despite being weathered, signs identify numerous shops and directions aimed to help guide travelers amidst this chaos. So, this is going to be very much open for you guys. I think I have almost everything written out for you. You guys can see like the herbalist, blacksmith in all.
Correct.
Okay, awesome. So,
How many days can we spend here?
He's trying to make money.
I don't know.
What a weird question. Okay.
Well, I want to know. I want to
Actually,
see everything here before I buy everything here.
I have one more piece of exposition that I forgot. All right. Yana, as you kind of walk into this, both of you now, despite me not having it on this map because I didn't want to create a lot of clutter, this place is pretty bustling and packed. But amidst the chaos of the crossroads, you see a high elven female standing atop the crowds. Tall and quite loud, this elegantly dressed merchant shouts profanities at those who stand idly within the roadway. Grim, you recognize this to be your old mentor, Nessa. She whirls around her cart with the expertise of a dervish as she spots you. A deep scowl upon her brow begins to lighten as it's quickly replaced by something more along the lines of a devious grin. Even over the din of the roads, you can hear her. She shouts out, "So, Grim, finally decided to come back to your roots, have you?"
Oh, really
Grim, are
hoping
you
not
okay?
to run into her again. I'll kind of wave over. Hey, yeah, long time, hasn't it?
Let's see. 8 trips up the Sword Coast. Couple years, maybe. Sounds about right. Looks like you found yourself quite an interesting group of people to spend your time with them.
Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they're okay.
Just okay.
So, when are you going to be ready to hit the road again? Feel like actually learning something useful for a change?
Well, we're actually due east, I believe. I'm not sure exactly when we're heading out, but I'm always interested in learning something useful. Depends what you had in mind.
Oh, well, assuming that you still believe your old mentor to have a few tricks up her sleeve that she could teach you. As a
I
DM
mean,
frantically looks for a female token that I haven't used recently.
You can use
I
beats.
mean, I guess we could see if you do. Although
Insight check.
maybe a little less tough than you used to be.
Oh,
Found one. She kind of looks you up and down from atop her cabin. She dodges her cart. She kind of dodges to and fro as she's jostled about. She says, I think you could say I have another fair trick or two for you. I mean, I did teach you practically everything you knew by the time you decided to abandon my care.
That's fair. I have learned quite a bit since then, though.
What are you trying to insight, Bosco?
Um,
this wall
How-
of the wind of the inn. It's fantastic.
I'm trying to check out how Grim is dealing with meeting his whatchamacallit, his ex, not his ex, his mentor.
It could be his ex. You don't know.
Grim, give
Might
me
be his ex.
give me a performance check.
Okay.
She was real tough on you, I hear. Wink, wink.
Was she hard through the night?
Oh, God.
Okay,
What kind of
so
performance check am I making here?
so in honesty, how does Bosco perceive Grim to seeing his mentor down here, the bottom of the tradeway?
So Grim is a little uneasy. She was a very tough teacher. Before he had met her, he really didn't know any magic at all. So it was kind of trial by fire. Really, it was just a gauntlet of different magical incantations and just repeatedly learning how to control the weave over and over and over. As a wizard, nothing comes naturally to him. It's all learned through repetition and kind of hard practice. And she did not relent in that at all. So although he appreciates what his master did, he maybe even kind of fears her a little bit. But he's doing his best to kind of hold his own and not really let her or the rest of his party onto that fact.
And has he mentioned her? Have you mentioned her ever before?
I don't think he has yet.
I don't
Probably
think
not
so.
in passing, even.
Yeah, I don't believe so.
So she looks you up and down, and by this point, by the time you're at Baldur's Gate, your clothes were nicely maintained, not too dirty, and you, for the most part, were in good shape that you try to keep yourself in. But between your traveling to and through El Trail and then up here, it's been quite a while since you've had a reasonable stay at an inn, a place to really, take time to soak in a bath, clean yourself up. All of you, for that point, are pretty dirty. Maybe just feeling a little bit grimy at this point. It's been a while since
But
you've been in
you forget,
civilization.
Andy. One of my earliest tricks, prestidigitation.
Nidra, on the other hand, she's okay.
I wonder if there are any hot springs nearby.
So she looks over you, Grim, and she says, "How the mighty have fallen. It almost reminds me of the time I picked you up as a boy, covered in nothing but dirt, coal dust, grime." Huh. Well, I suppose that I'll be here for another couple days if you end up feeling like hitting the road again. There's always more to learn, always better places to see, and quite frankly, being at the end of the tradeway is not good for much other than collecting on coin, as you're well aware. How many times have you made this trip with me? 20, 30 probably? It's quite a while.
Well, you know how our memories are, and he just kind of points out that she looks almost the same age she did some 20 years ago. It's half a lifetime for me. It's hard to say. Dozens upon dozens. A lot of hard-learned lessons though, and can't really say my life now is any different. And he kind of like brushes off a bit of dirt that he picked up from El Terrell and the travels from there.
How is there an increased sense of mortality from Grimm? It's been what, maybe 25 years since you've seen her, or close to? She does look very similar to when you left her, and even at that point she was middle-aged, but you on the other hand have gone from a mid-20s something to about 50.
Yeah, he's I mean, Grimm definitely is a bit more grizzled than he used to be, just very hard traveled, so it wears on him and he probably kind of shows.
I think, if I may interject, at a certain point, I kind of see how Grimm's maybe getting a little bit agitated by this, and I don't really like her attitude. I think at a certain point, he just kind of pipes in and says, "Well, there's only so much that we can gain from traveling the same roads over and over again. It's kind of why we're doing something different."
Oh, is that so? I could give you something different if that's what you would like. Uh,
Grimm's
I
just gonna
need
kind
you.
of step back just a little bit.
I need you to make an intelligence saving. And Grim, you do recognize that she is casting an incantation and well, not fatal per se, a very potent one.
In most instances, if I thought she was actually a mortal threat, Grim would be the first to kind of jump in and counterspell. But I think, he kind of thinks maybe Nidra could learn something here. Nidra definitely is very curious about different magics, and she did a very good job of training me. So I just kind of, he's just gonna sit back and kind of let this play out, just see where this goes.
Nidra, you take 18 points of psychic damage. You are unable to talk, communicate, and even really think right now. Your intelligence and charisma scores are temporarily reduced to 1.
That's
What does she
better.
look like physically?
She looks the same.
Well, is she like drooling now? Like, what is this intelligence on 1?
Oh, you mean Nidra? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean Nietzsche.
No, she looks the same. She just looks like almost empty slate. You can see she's kind of just staring off into the wind for a moment here. And Nessa kind of looks excited at you and says, "See, Grim, there's always more things I could teach you. It's just how much time you're willing to spend with an old woman like me. But at this point, I think you're almost looking older than I am." And she sits there and excitedly just claps her hands a few times and says, "Well, I guess I'll be seeing a lot of you around. I've heard there's someone around that may be able to help you with your feeble-minded friend here. Anyways, I'll see you around. Maybe you'll decide to join me within the next few days and hit the road again."
Hey, Andy.
And yeah,
Can I cast check magic on her cart?
sure.
What do I see on it?
Thanks for pinging that. Her cart. Let's see. Any schools of magic? Her cart in general has a flare of abjuration magic to it. It's nothing like blinding and distracting. There's a bit of abjuration magic to it, as there is with her, and I mean her clothes, her adornments, just a number of different things that she wears.
Well, Is
That
she
being said,
selling that stuff?
no.
Okay.
CJ, remind me, was it spices or precious metal?
Oh, it was precious metals, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was precious metal. She does, and you can see that a number of it's been offloaded. But her cart is laden down with, as you as a player now know, heavy boxes of different precious metals. But as for magic, I mean, there's nothing. It's not like she's peddling magical greatswords or anything.
Okay.
And with that, anyways, is Yana's kind of here taking care of a feeble-minded Nidra.
What did you just do?
Nessa begins guiding her cart off up towards. Actually, let's see. Up towards. Oh, I just picked up my entire GM list. Up towards the homesteads before leaving the distance of the battle map.
I'm gonna round on Grim. What did she just do? Fix Nidra.
I personally haven't seen this firsthand, or I guess if I did, I wouldn't remember. But I believe she cast some sort of psychic or mental magic that essentially rendered our beloved Nidra here incapable of thought, essentially.
Fix it. Dispel it. Do something.
I mean, I could try. This is a bit above my capabilities, but I could see what I can do, and I'll try to cast Dispel Magic on Nidra. Out of character, I actually have no idea if you can Dispel Magic Feeble Mind. I'm actually curious about that.
As you finish the incantation, there seems to be no effect. And as you do this, give me an Arcana check.
Do I see the temple?
Yes.
17. Oh, I looked it up. You actually can't Dispel Feeble Mind.
You can't. As your incantation fails, you do just draw to the back of your head the time you had spent traveling. Sometimes she would go and she would ramble, and you had already been so exhausted just mentally with the things that she had taught you, and you would try to keep up, and you do recall something similar to what just happened, something described to you, and you can't quite remember it, but as you finish this Dispel Magic, you do recall her mentioning that some clerical magics can fix it.
I shove past Grim, pick her up, and take her to the temple.
Okay.
I'll help her out.
Yana's the
Can't help but
best.
feel this is partially my fault.
You think?
As you
Just-
guys go
I
ahead.
had a question. When this happened, first off, are there any guards in this town?
Not that you've seen, and I really want to emphasize how busy these streets are. It's not quite shoulder to shoulder, but it's Disneyland on a Saturday.
Well,
It's pretty nuts. It's not enjoyable.
and when
Um,
she cast that spell, did anyone bat an eye?
Actually, that's something I should have told Grim. Actually, no, you use magic too. Basically, everyone except for
You were
Yana
not very
actually.
observant.
Take that, yeah.
She did this very discreetly. This was not a big old commotion of things. This was a very subtle incantation. As for people around to notice, there wasn't really much to notice. I mean, you saw the cause and effect, so you're privy to it. But with all the jostling going around, there wasn't much to see.
Yeah, but I thought you said that people could like sense it if you cast magic.
Yes. Do you remember your time? I think it was in Luskin. There are some, like, if there is so much going on, then the sensation, like, it could be the equivalent of a strong gust. Like, yeah, if it's completely quiet, absolutely. But with distractions
Okay.
around. But those of you that are privy to magic, you can absolutely have sensed it. That being said, Yana, you basically get like that little bit of a shiver down your spine, but since you don't use, you don't function within the realm of the arcane, so it feels weird, but it's not.
But I saw like her acting somewhat hostile, and then Nidra just go blank.
Yeah, so you are aware of it. But so as you guys go towards this temple, the temple is little more than what's almost an, how to describe it. The building boasts a large number of shrines. looking at the quality of them, all of which are very nice, some of which a little worn but repaired over time. It looks like all of the temples that once filled Scornubel were kind of not ransacked, but they took the nice pieces and made a section within this building for each deity. You see one to Bahamut, you see one to Timora, you see one to the Raven Queen. But as for people attending the temple, there doesn't seem to be anyone. People come in and out, they make offerings, they make their prayers, but this isn't an occupied temple. It's almost more of a single room of worship.
So there's
I'll
no
just
one.
run in. Move it, priest. Hello.
Make a perception check.
All right.
Ooh.
There's no one here that you can see tending to the shrines. You see merchants, you see farms folk, you see a whole variety of people, but there's no one dressed here like you've seen in other temples. There's no clerics, there's no priests, there's none of that.
Is there anyone in the temple?
Oh, there are a ton of people. Yana's literally knocking people to their knees as she carries Nidra over the crowd.
Guess we could ask someone.
That'd be a good idea, yeah. Let's do it.
I'll make a motion. I'll make a commotion. Excuse me, anyone. Is there a priest in here?
You raise your voice a little bit, and you see a couple of people kind of like glance over at you and just kind of continue. They look at you for but a few seconds. What do you do?
I'll go up individually to the person that looked at me.
Okay. The person that looked at you he looks to be a farmhand of sorts. He's maybe in his young 30s, and he's got a little girl, both of which are dressed as if they work a farm. She's maybe 6 or 7. And you kind of grab him by the corner of his sleeve. And he stops for a second, and he kind of looks down, and you kind of taken aback, and he tries to get his sleeve away from you, but you're white knuckling onto his clothing, and this man really doesn't feel like having his clothing torn. You can tell. So he kind of slows down for a moment. He says, "What? What do you need?
A priest.
Do I look like a bloody priest to you?"
Possibly. Do you know where one is?
There hasn't been in Scornubel. You could go find your way to Eltrell. Perhaps you'll.
Well, we did say Veltrell, but that is not the point here.
Is that what they call it nowadays? No, I don't know of any priest here. You could find some. You could go to her, but why?
Because our friend has been cursed. And she cannot speak.
You could try making a prayer. You could go see the herbalist. Maybe she could catch something or concoct something to help her caught tongue.
As soon as I hear that,
There's a few strange people around the town, but nothing like a proper priest.
I'm sorry for tearing at you, but our friend is just so it's not like her. And I'll hand him 2 gold for his help.
where's the herbalist?
As you hand him 2 gold, his young daughter kind of jumps up and snatches one just between as you're kind of tossing them over to him. He's trying to gather them haphazardly, and she catches one and she says, "Papa, what about the man in the antique shop? He could help." And he looks and kind of looks down at her, and he kind of puts forth a bit of a grimace, and then you see a moment of consideration. He says, "Maybe. Anyways, best of luck." And he kind of hurriedly frees his shirt from you and pulls his daughter out of the temple.
Could I see what he was in here for, which to worship?
Make a perception check. I would have had you do this before. It's going to be a pretty high DC.
Yeah, I was going to try and do that, but I didn't say it. Hold on.
It's fine.
Can I leave and go to the herbalist?
Sure. You saw very briefly. He visited 2 shrines, one of which you're not sure about. The one he was walking towards you from, it looks to belong to Eldath. That's probably
Okay.
where it came from. Goddess of peace, life, nature. Um, you're just not quite certain. That's just a direction he kind of came from.
Okay. As they're going to the herbalist, I want to go to the antique shop.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Bosco over to the antique shop to check it out.
Okay.
Okay.
As
Um,
Yana carries me outside, I'm kind of just looking up at the sky, glazed over, and I think the sky just sort of turns like overcast, gray.
You do, and you have just this one bright ray of sunlight that catches through the dust being kicked up by the carts, and that's enough. As if this wasn't already stressful enough, that ray of light is just annoying enough. And you do, clouds start to form overhead, and not light gray, but they grow darker. And in your mind, self-contained, you think there's rain coming, but you can't even think, is it because of me? You can't even comprehend it. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to do the herbalist first, and then I'll go to the antique shop. Who is going into the herbalist shop?
Me and Pete. And Yana, it looks like.
Yep, and I'm carrying Nidra.
And by function of Yana, me.
Alrighty, let's see. Okay, the 4 of you make your way into a very dark and damp shop. As you creak open the door, it seems like not many people come in here. But
Oh, I burst it open.
as soon as you walk through the door, you're met with very pungent smells of rot and decay and fungi. You see a number of different plants growing and luminous stones scattered about, and kind of on an upper floor just above you guys. It's like a half story. You see this very small, very short halfling woman, quite advanced in her years. She is very delicately snipping off mushrooms about the size of your pinky nail, putting them into a sack.
Oh, I love mushrooms.
Hey, do you have remedies?
Pipe down, girl! You're going to disturb the plants.
Do you have any remedies?
She kind of comes over to the edge of this house, down at you, and as she kind of steps near this shelf, a number of bats come down from the ceiling and scatter across the room just over Yana's head. And she looks down at Treek and Pete as they're the closest, and she says, "For what, my dears? Is this about the honey?" Well, speak!
No.
Shh, you'll hurt the plants.
I'm sorry. No, this is about our honey. I'm sorry. Our friend. I'm sorry for the joke.
What's wrong with her? She looks not too well learned. Perhaps a little mentally disabled.
She's supposed to be brilliant. Fix her.
That takes years of teaching.
She was brilliant 5 minutes ago. Fix her.
She goes and kind of looks about a number of different plants and picks one and another, and from beneath one of the plants you hear a very shrill ribboning of a frog as she picks it up and tosses it into a sack. We're going to come back to that in just a second. Where we're going to go next, when I pick up the correct tokens, is the antique shop.
Going into the church hasn't been that. It wasn't that long in the church, right?
Couple minutes, maybe.
That's fine.
Okay. You guys come into a very old and very cluttered antique shop.
Detect magic
Grim,
still on.
you're a taller fellow, and you are really squeezing through here. This place is very. Bosco, even at your smaller stature, moving around here is an absolute nightmare. Um, that being said, as you're kind of looking through with your detect magic, um, this entire place glows with a very light sense of magic. Um, there's a
Do I
lot of
s-
stuff here, is what
I'm
I'm
just
gonna
trying to
say.
figure out, is this the place where I could find magic? I'll just word it that way.
You could definitely find magic here.
Okay.
It almost looked, if I was to say, you remember the sack of dust you guys had a while ago? There was the dust of invisibility.
Yeah.
Yes.
Imagine
You
taking
have to bring that
Thank you
up.
for that, Yana.
imagine taking a magical dust like that and scattering it across this entire shop. Like everything just looks magic.
I mean, Yana scattered it all over that rock.
Wouldn't it be invisible?
Yeah, everything's here is
You get what I'm
invisible.
saying,
Yeah.
smartass.
Um,
As for that, the two of you seem to be the only two within the shop.
I'll call out. Excuse me. Excuse me.
You don't seem to have
Do
any
I notice
response.
anything?
Other than all the shit that's on the shelves here, I mean, no.
No, I was just meaning I have a passive perception of 20, and if there was anything else, I might see it. Like
No,
another
you don't
person.
see anyone in here.
I'll say in jest to Vaughn or to Grim, you know we could steal like all of this. It's mostly magical and nobody's here.
Yeah, I'm sure absolutely none of it's cursed.
Down to cursed items. Is
So,
is up here stairs?
yeah, there's like kind of a half set of stairs right here that go up.
Could I go up them?
Sure.
Do
You
I
can
see
move
any,
around. I mean, this is a tight look. Sure.
do I see any doors, anything up on the second floor?
Make an investigation check.
I'm good at those. 32.
You don't see any hidden doors or anything, and you're kind of looking about it, just raking cobwebs off of your face as you walk through. And one thing you do notice is what appears to be an incomplete chessboard of ivory.
Oh, motherfucker.
And
No way.
make an intelligence check.
Check.
Grim, you too.
Who has
You're
this?
Did
both
that
gonna
roll
look at
right?
this round.
I have
Yeah, that
some.
rolled right.
Ragnar had
23.
I would freaking die if he has this.
Probably
Grim,
does.
you're looking at um, this chessboard, and you realize that white is one move away from a checkmate against black from the pieces remaining on this board.
Yeah, since there's not much else going on right now, Grim's just going to kind of entertain himself by moving the pieces around, and he's going to move the white piece. You said to put the black in checkmate?
Correct.
Yeah, he's going to do that.
Okay.
Just out of curiosity.
As you do that, a familiar face appears just in front of both of you. It's John.
Hey, bud.
So,
Holy smokes, that was really good.
He looks so much less menacing, or so much more. Yeah, so much less menacing holding a skull now.
welcome to one of my favorite places. I see that you found my game of chess incompletable for years, as white always results in checkmate from how many pieces I'm missing. So, you find your way here. Wait, let me guess. Because I've seen it hundreds of times before. On your way to the Well of Dragons, are we?
Yes.
And you see the dust here stop falling in midair. The scarce lights of torches and lanterns stop flowing. It's still light, but the flame stops. Grim, you feel a very powerful magical sensation by as he finishes an incantation, and within this room,
Oh.
the remainder of your party pops into existence.
Damn it! I was gonna use my fun spell for this.
Now, the four of you that just pop in, you're frozen. You do not see, or you see, but you cannot interact. You can't breathe. All you can do, eyes glazed over, is you see Grim, Bosco, and John. So,
You're gonna have to teach me that trick.
some things, even for a wizard, may not be teachable, but we could go into it another day.
You would be surprised.
I'm guessing that you come here for help. For two
Yes.
reasons. So tell me, what do you wish? Perhaps we can make a deal.
Well, one, Nidra has lost the ability to speak.
Oh, more than that, I'm afraid.
She was cursed by
Who
this
knows?
idiot partner.
She may have even lost her magical abilities forever.
And I think she's vital to our operation. You have probably seen in your futures that she's vital for our fight.
Oh, please, let us not beat around the bush. This is trivial. He walks over to you, Nidra, as you see, unable to move, as he reaches out his thumb and places it just above and between your eyebrows. Your intelligence and charisma returns, and you are no longer frozen. In
Can I
fact,
talk?
none of you are.
Okay.
You can now.
Okay. I kind of like raise a hand, like, "Hey, Grim,
Yeah.
your teacher's kind of a bitch."
Yeah.
So, if the lot of you haven't figured it out, I am almost bound to help, as you are one of my great interests. So now that you found your way here, I ask you, do you think that you deserve a gift?
Grim's actually gonna try something here.
Sure.
He's gonna address John. He's gonna say, I would never expect a handout, so not a gift per se, but I had a deal in mind, and he's gonna pull out the red egg.
Interesting, as I've had a deal in mind as well. So, what do you propose?
Well, as nice as I'm sure this egg is, and it definitely seems like it has some powerful forms of magic coming off of it, I am a man of certainty. I don't particularly like the unknown, and whereas this represents chaos, I have something else in mind that represents, let's say, control. But to do this type of magic, I need a certain focus of sorts. So, what if I give you this egg, and whatever amount of coin or items or favors you deem appropriate, and in return, you can give me a focus or statuette of sorts that I need.
All in due time, young Grim. You'll find your mark. However, you have struck a chord with me. This egg is worthless to you. I thought that you would have figured it out. However, the sands of time have shifted. So, I suppose that I will give you your gift first. And as you're holding out this egg, he touches it ever so delicately and then takes it in his hands very gently. And what you see is where he touched it just on top, it begins to crack. As the egg continues to crack and shatter, within is a baby phoenix.
Oh, it's adorable.
He looks at the phoenix as it pecks at his nose for just a second, and he snaps. The phoenix disappears. Grim, he looks back to you and says, once the deal is made, it must be repaid. However, I think that I have a more than appropriate gift for you. You still owe both Therese and I. However, in order for you to complete your job, you'll be needing this. What he hands you, first of everyone in the group, let's see, is an ivory statuette of a young boy holding a pickaxe, wearing tattered clothing with diamonds set for his eyes. This is a statue of you.
Curiously, Grim will take it and kind of examine the statue.
A focus of sorts. However, if you fail to repay your debt in due time, be assured that I will collect. He walks back over towards Nidra and says, "For you, I
Can
have
he walk
something."
by me?
Let me do this. He
Sorry, I
walks
want to
over
try something whenever
and
he chance.
he looks at you, Nidra, and he says, "Something that you've been wanting for quite some time." And disproportionately from within his cloak, he withdraws a pair of high leather boots.
Ooh.
I think you'll find these to be satisfactory in your endeavors.
Thanks.
Nidra, you get your Boots of Twilight. When wearing these boots, you have an additional 10 movements.
Ooh.
He walks over to Yana.
Probably
You-
takes it in 2-min slot, huh?
Struggle, yes. You have been struggling. You have a lovely
With
weapon,
what?
yet you can't quite identify how to use it. However, perhaps this will help you. And he hands you, actually doesn't even hand it to you, he places it in your hair, a side comb. The side comb of intuition, which while wearing, you have advantage on insight checks. He walks over to Treek and Pete. Without even addressing Pete, he slaps a helm just on top of Pete's head. It's a skull cap of sorts. However, it has horns that resemble that of yak. Very large, very rounded. While wearing this helm, Pete has a bonus to his armor or to her armor class by 1. And as for you, Treek, you've shown interest in a number of sciences. I brought this a long way for you. I hope you put it to good use. And he hands you, once again, from his cloak, a very large box. About twice the size of a backpack, for reference.
Gee.
You can open it as you'd like. And he walks
Nah,
over
I
to
think I'll.
he walks over to Bosco and he says, "Something that you've also longed for." He produces a long jacket from shoulder to heel. You can see on one side it's very plain, very nondescript. The other side, almost garish, very shiny and almost pirate-like.
Cool.
You have a coat of the privateer. Gives you advantage on stealth checks while within formal settings. And within the lining of the coat are hooks to attach to leather or studded leather armor as to flow freely. And 12 small pockets.
Cool. Whenever he reaches to me, can I try and touch him?
Sure, make a dexterity check.
Not sleight of hand?
Are you trying to do it secretly?
Yeah, more or less I wanted to figure out if he was actually here and
Okay,
And then
do
we'll-
both.
I'll tap Nidra on the shoulder and show her the, like, point to the chest.
Point to the what?
The chest set.
Oh. I'll sort of walk over there and start examining it.
Stealthily enough, you reach out. However, he almost begins to shift. In fact, he does shift. You don't make contact with anything but the very tip of his clothing, and as you do, you see a small speck of sand appear from his coat as it falls
Huh.
to the floor.
Okay.
He looks back over the party. He says, "The boots for Nidra that she's desired after her time in Candlekeep. The coat that Bosco's been wanting ever since he was a child. A quite useful, perhaps focus for Grim. However, perhaps not quite what you had had in mind. The helm for the cow.
Her name is
The
Pete.
box for Treek. And the hair comb for Yana. Lovely. Consider it a gift from Terais, as he is quite vested in your success. That being said, I will leave this shop to you.
Hey, this
Simply-
chess set.
Before he
yours?
goes, can I ask him one thing?
Hold on. Well, give me an initiative roll. I want to see how quickly you jump to this.
Throw one out there too. 'Cause I'm-
'Kay.
Oh, well, me not very fast
so-
apparently.
Hold that thought as he recounts this, as he's counting these on his fingers. He says, I'll leave the remainder of the shop to you. Some of my favorite pieces of my collections over the years. Just remember, anything you take comes with a cost. And Grim, you see him starting what you can sense to be an incredibly powerful incantation. And just for a second, you interject, just with speech. And he looks over at you with a slight scowl and he says, What? Have my gifts not been enough?
No, they certainly have. I just had one question. I understand I incurred this debt to you and to Terais, really before we knew each other, and now, in a sense, I'm in your service. We're accomplishing the mission you have set forth, and you had said that upon doing so, our debts would be erased, kind of referencing the mark. Does that include the gold, or is that simply our indentured servitude?
Your servitude. Unfortunately, nothing Terais provides can come without a cost. And with that, he is gone.
Before he, I mean, I was gonna give him the gold, but
Oh, you'll find a way, perhaps. So, I'm going to read a list of objects to you guys that you can see within this area.
Oh boy.
Do
And
they have like a price tag on them?
Yep, that's
That'd
how
be
John works.
entirely too easy.
yep.
yeah, nice try. Hold on. I'm going to read them out, but I will also provide them to you in text. So,
All right. Well, so I don't need to scramble to write this all down then.
correct. I'm
Okay,
getting it
I
ready
won't
for
then.
you in Discord right now.
I
Because
get it.
there's a lot of stuff.
The jacket I get advantage on in stealth missions, right? Like situational
In formal
stuff.
settings. Any time that you're basically dressing.
Okay.
Dressing like class up. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, anything basically above, like, even semi-formal. Let's see. I think I've cleaned it all up for you guys. Cool. I'm going to read this out loud because I made all of these and I'm actually kind of proud of them. So bear with me. Within this very small area, there's a matching rapier and dagger crafted from Damascus steel, a longbow carved from a white radiant wood, a small box containing 4 dusty vials with various liquids within them, a flail boasting a trio of heavy sensors on the end of each of its chains, a spiraling war horn crafted from opalescent goat horn and platinum, an old ivory chessboard missing a few pieces, a set of fine women's clothing from Cormier with matching jewelry, a box which appears to contain a variety of sweet-smelling candies, an arrangement of fine dining ware to host 18 seats, a set of sparkling, high-quality mithril pots and pans, a breastplate and shield made from colorful seashells, a glass orb filled with moving smoke. Some of these are repeats at the bottom. A metal urn containing the ashes of a hero, a bottle of seemingly oscillating air, a flower which is currently blossoming in the presence of peat, and a very tarnished ring. Here you go.
That's an interesting list. How fucked am I if I take these items? Is what I need to know.
And the
No, I
last
mean-
thing that the lot of you know is that in the very back, just above the table the chessboard is on, is a very modest looking clay pot with a single copper coin within.
Holy Grail, get it.
Can I look for a ledger?
You can make investigation checks if you would like. So go ahead.
The clay pot, is that what he showed us whenever we were discussing all of the stuff in whatchamacallit?
Was the clay pot what you were discussing and what?
Whenever we were about ready to go into the big fight with
No, it's
Galen.
not. It's not his chest.
Okay.
Although I like that thematically more, so it is his chest. I like that. That's a lot better.
Oh, is that where we put the money?
Hmm.
I'm smart, guys.
I want to look at the chessboard. How many pieces are missing?
How many pieces do you have?
I have a few. Man.
I lost count. That was a while ago.
I have a
Yeah.
rook,
Can we have a
three
note?
pawns, a
Three?
queen, a knight, a bishop. They're all ivory.
Okay, you should have more than. How many pieces do you have?
4, 5, 7. I have 7. That's it, dude. I have it logged in my chess pieces in the quest log you gave.
Oh, perfect. Cool. You have 7 chess pieces, and those are the 7 that are missing.
Oh, dope. Okay, put those back.
Cool beans.
Make an investigation check. Actually, make it perception, because
Oh,
I don't know why I said investigation.
I wish it was
Sean pops
investigation.
up.
You see the Cheshire cat smiling.
So, what do you
very
do with the chess
upset.
pieces?
I'm just putting them back on the board like where they belong.
Okay. As you replace the 7 pieces, the chest begins to fill with gold. You gained 350 pieces of gold.
Dope. Okay. Did we really find all the chess pieces? That seems wrong.
No, but you
Okay.
may have fallen behind in the timeline for someone else that may have found them before you.
All right.
Aw, shoot.
Oh, they were worth 50 gold each. I see. All right. Math. I can do math. This shouldn't be difficult math to do, but it is.
70, if you want to split it up
What's that?
evenly.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. That's totally the math
Or
I
you can
was
keep
doing.
it.
I was just about to add it to my own inventory. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, okay, so 350 divided by 5 is just, 70. So,
We didn't see we didn't see Nidra.
listen, I'm pretty
It
much...
was loud. Like, if you guys imagine the sound of a slot machine dispensing coin, that's basically what just happened in this chest. It's
That's
probably
loud as
startled a
fuck,
couple of...
trust me.
Yeah, it probably
sounds awesome.
startled you guys a little bit. Maybe not Grim, because Grim's very hard to surprise, but...
Apparently.
There's coins here. Take some.
Okay, you take them.
I'd like to inspect this flower that blossoms in the
Kyle,
presence of
don't
animals.
forget to add your coin.
Sure.
What do you do with it? Be very careful.
That's not my speech, too.
I feel like
Put
if you
down
pick it up,
gently.
if you pick it up, your money's just gonna be gone.
I'd like to sniff it. What does it smell like?
It smells very sweet. And you see Pete kind of mimicking you, kind of also interested, goes up and sniffs it too. And the closer Pete gets, the more it blossoms and even begins to have a radiant glow that comes out from its center.
Pete's the new torch.
I mean, I don't think that's worth how much money.
That light
costs.
doesn't come from Pete. The light comes from the flower, Richard.
Well, it's really bright when it's on Pete's head, so let's put it on Pete's head and Pete's a
Yeah,
torch.
that's what I
It's
was
fine.
thinking too.
We can come back to this, right?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
The flower just blossoms when there's animals. We've had this one before.
I stick trigger next to the flower.
It also blossoms.
Fine, triggers a new torch, whatever.
I don't want to spend money on that. I want to come back to this place.
I think that was very cool.
There's
Bosco,
stuff
do you leave?
Bye bye.
See ya.
I'll see you guys later.
Okay, thanks, bye.
What about the rest of you?
I want to look at the set of fine women's clothing from Cormier.
Ooh! I actually have an image for this one. I'm very
Hot
excited.
damn, I'm excited.
There you go.
Oh. Ooh, risque.
Yeah, it's a really expensive prostitute. I mean, everyone is, if we're being honest.
Can someone identify this to see if it's magical at all?
Here, let me do that.
I cast detect magic.
Yeah, I think Yana said that she would do that for you.
Okay, Yana, make an Arcana check.
I got this. I know this kind of clothing. This is like
Pretty good.
Seems magical.
it's definitely magic.
It
I
looks
think I said
flowy,
they're all
very
magical.
pretty.
I'd like to look at it.
Guys, everything in here is magical.
I try it on.
Okay, you pick it up. Good to know.
I'll say to Nidra, I can absolutely attempt to identify it for you, but something tells me you've already bought it. So
Well, I'd like to know what I bought if I bought it.
that's fair. If we have like time aside while everyone else is exploring the shop, I'll ritual cast identify.
Make an Arcana check.
25.
That's pretty good. So, two things. First of all, what I'm going to tell you is that you're currently not on the prime material plane. You gain a grasp of this as you begin to formulate this incantation, and your mind is filled with almost like encrypted information from this. It's like you try to identify these robes, and words come into your head like pie, duck, tomato, wagon.
That all sounds like very useful information. Nothing.
Could Bosco
that's
just like step
that's
out into
most of
nothing?
our language. I don't think that's encrypted at
Now,
all.
now that being said, I mean, you can, like I said, you can obviously tell this is magic, but it's almost, what's the word, confounding? Like, it doesn't make sense.
Screw it. This stuff's probably useful. I'll take it with me. Is there anything else in here that I want?
Find out.
The only other one
that,
I'm actually interested in is the vial with the liquids in it. The box containing the 4 vials. But
Okay.
I'll be back in a sec, guys.
what do they look like?
Dusty.
Okay.
Tell me about this beautiful
About what?
the longbow that is radiant.
What do you want to know about it? Basically, it looks to be carved. It looks of elven make, but the wood literally glows white. The
That's pretty cool.
the string appears to be woven from something golden. Make a nature check. This is gonna be a really high DC.
Interesting.
You have no idea what this is.
I mean,
It's
nine's a
very
really high
shiny and
result.
very glowy, though.
I do like shiny things. I think I'll pick it up as well. Test it out.
Okay. Very good.
Pull the drawstring back. Does it feel tougher than my other bow?
Feels quite appropriate.
Helpful but vague.
Anything else? Anything pique your interests?
I mean, I think you mentioned candy. I'm
There
always
is.
down for
There's a
candy.
box of very sweet candy. Smelling, at least. It appears
I
to
just-
contain 12 individually wrapped.
Treat yourself.
Root beer barrels.
Maybe. There's no plastic here. You can't see.
Sure. Yeah, fuck it. I'll pick those up and I'll leave.
Dope.
You leave?
Yeah, I'm gonna take both actually. The bow and the candy.
'Kay.
And hope that I didn't just make a huge mistake. That I'll enjoy candy outside.
Good
Does Pete
news.
go with you?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, we'll get to outside in a minute. What
And
about
the
the
good
rest
news
of
is
you
if
guys?
you just made a huge mistake, I only made half as huge of a mistake.
Okay. We'll find out.
I want to look at the war horn.
Okay. What are you trying to ascertain?
Can I
Oh
like,
yeah, money in the books.
can I not pick it up, but just try and blow at the horn while it's lying on?
That's not how it works.
Why not?
That's not how horns work.
Why?
A lot of you see Yana getting her
Can I
lips
try?
really, really, really close and doesn't make any sound.
I will take the current one that I have and then quickly switch them.
They'll never know the difference.
They'll never
Yeah,
know.
I think you're good. Just we won't say anything.
I was imagining her Indiana Jonesing it. Like,
So what else? There's a ton of fun stuff in here.
oh, Grim.
Do you think this dining ware is like a hero's feast?
That'd be clever.
Could be, or it could
He
just be a
says,
bunch of
patting
plates I'm
himself on
gonna
the
end up
back.
I'm not
hauling
patting
around the
myself on the
back.
back. I didn't even think of that.
Wait, did you say some of these were like repeats that they had seen before or something like that?
Yeah, everything down from the glass orb filled with smoke and everything down they've seen before. He's
Okay.
had in his inventory before.
Oh, okay, but we don't like it's repeats in that he's had it before, but not that
Yeah,
we
no
know
one's
what it
used
does.
them or had
No,
it,
we don't.
correct.
We don't know
Interesting.
any of that shit is.
The ring is 750 gold pieces. That's all I know.
It's probably
Well,
pretty good.
Now it's free, so that's cool.
Free.
Wait, is it
TM.
free?
Yeah, didn't you see me just walk out with my stuff?
I mean, yeah, you have infallible argument there.
All right, I'm back.
Is Mithril see-through, or am I just thinking of something?
Mithril is like super shiny, glittery silver.
Hmm.
That's not
Does
what
it break?
RuneScape would mean.
I was
No,
gonna say
mid-
it is blue. No.
Yeah,
If you're playing RuneScape, it's blue, and everything else it's silver.
yeah.
No, it is very strong. Mithril is like the trademark ore of dwarf.
Hmm. We don't cook that much, I guess.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take my cool red threads and fuck off.
Okay, what about the last two of you?
Kyle, what'd you get?
I'm looking.
Yeah, I think Grim will head out.
Oh,
And this
don't
is
do
where
that.
Yana
Why'd you do
takes
that? I
everything.
can't get your token now. What did you do? Oh, there it is.
I jumped out into the void.
Yana?
Can I whisper, "Hey, John"?
No response.
Oh man. I'm gonna go put a gold in his little pot thing.
Oh shit! That was a good idea. Fuck!
I love that. You got on my case about it, and then I just silently watched you do it.
Oh no! We just talked about this though.
Yup.
What just
Yep.
happened?
Can I retroactively go put 500 gold in there?
Nope.
Oh no.
Fuck.
I didn't even try to go back in. I'm like, we're in a different dimension. That's not how it works.
Man.
What by the way, those of you that have walked out, you don't even see outside yet. We'll get to that in a second. You put a gold into the chest, nothing happens.
How much maybe is this worth? Can I do like a intelligence check to see how much I think it's worth?
Which?
My horn?
The horn you picked up?
Yeah.
Sure. Go ahead and roll an intelligence check.
Or a strength check, if you think that's applicable.
No, I don't.
Good try.
Yeah, and then
Ooh,
dexterity.
this war horn could be valued at your estimation anywhere between 1,000 gold to 25,000 gold to maybe a favor. Somewhere in there.
I'll put in 5 gold.
Okay.
Because I gave him my horn, and that one was,
Wasn't that a Shira's?
yeah.
Okay. Leaving
Well,
your
maybe-
antiquities behind.
It's okay. Is there anything else I want? Let me see. Sorry, guys.
Take your time.
Feel free to dump all the vials on the ground.
Yeah, can I look at the vials?
What are you doing with them?
Can I put my greatsword? I want to summon it. Does
Okay.
that work?
Let me check actually. That's a good question.
Thank you.
That's a really good question.
I don't know why y'all left me in here.
I think it does. I think it does. Yeah, you summon the Dawn's Hymn.
Okay, and then I want to like place it behind the potion so like the light shines through it and I can see them more clearly.
Give me an investigation check at disadvantage. There's not enough space to like even get these really close, but you do have some light being put off, so investigation at disadvantage.
Ten.
One looks kind of orangish yellow, one maybe red or purple. One kind of looks a little reflective, you're not certain, and the fourth one you just can't even make out.
Interesting. Okay,
And
okay.
even with those colors, you can't, that may be just the light going through a thick layer of dust over top the vials.
Can I like blow the dust off? Can I use my warhorn?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm scared now.
No, go ahead. You said you wanted to do it.
I want to use it gently.
Okay. Stand by, please.
Can I hear what it sounds like?
No, you can't.
As a
Okay,
player.
hold on while I go and dig through a ton of shit.
Uh-oh.
I really got to go back for this one. Stand by.
I don't know why you wouldn't expect me to blow it right away. Don't say freezing, I will kill you.
Saving throw.
Me?
Yeah. Oh no,
Oh, I
dude.
guess we just lost a member.
Can someone tell me what she just got?
27.
Okay. Within this store for a quick second before its magical defenses decide to dispel this chaos you've just ensued, you are pinned against the wall by what appears to be some giant feathery beast. And then, pop, gone. Store's gotten rid of it.
Well,
Dope.
like spit out some feathers.
Uh-huh. Griffin feathers.
I know.
She
Okay.
says confidently.
Did that get the dust off those vials?
No, it didn't. You're lucky that it didn't break the vials and everything else.
I figured everything's magic.
Really? What was your first clue?
I'm not a magic user. Okay.
I'm
What's-
shocked that Grim didn't touch a damn thing in here. The guy who goes hunting after magical treasures and artifacts walks into a shop of magical treasures and artifacts and doesn't touch anything.
So there's two
Probably
things
the
about
smart
that.
move.
One,
I know.
I tried to identify it and I got nothing. And two, Grim is way too smart to fuck with shit. So he knows when to get out. That's all I'm saying.
No, I agree. I
Plus, I
agree.
am here. What's the chessboard like?
The what?
The chessboard.
Full of
Now
chess pieces.
complete.
But is it in like its normal thing, or is it still like finished completely?
No, the pieces are still in the same spot. Nidra just replaced some pieces that she had in their appropriate locations.
I'll put it back to like starting position, and then
Okay.
do one move from the ivory side.
Aren't they all ivory?
No.
One's
Oh, that
black.
wouldn't make sense, huh? Yeah.
And then I will leave.
Okay. As you approach the door, just as you exit, you hear the sliding of another chess piece. As you're pushing the door forward, you see one of the black pieces move. And that's it.
Dope, you're playing chess by mail with John. Do it.
Fight. Wait, Kyle has a game. Kyle, didn't you invent this?
Did I invent chess? Is that what you
Now,
said?
the lot of
Yep,
you
Kyle
No,
find
the-
yourselves back in Scornubel. However, something interesting here while I move your tokens. You guys spent probably, I'm going to say 10 or 15 minutes in there. As you guys pop out, all at once, you see the man leaving the temple with his daughter as he's pulling her behind him. And he looks at you for a split second and looks back into the temple and looks back at you, and he runs with his daughter away from you.
I give him 2 thumbs up.
He is not looking back.
Do I see Grimm's mentor?
Which way did he go?
You do not. He went towards the down here, down towards the farmlands.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you guys a couple minutes to figure out what you want to do next because there's a lot to do here. I'm gonna say you guys got here kind of close to midday. It wasn't a full day's travel, so you're going on like we'll say 2 o'clock. But anyways, think about what you want to do. We'll be back in a few minutes.
You guys got anything you want to do?
you guys have just I'm going to backtrack a little bit here too. One thing I told Abby off stream is that I forgot to narrate is that the sound of her war horn sounds like the piercing cry of a griffin. Just so you're all on the same page there. The other thing is, as you guys exited the antique shop, you were met with nothing but cold darkness for a little bit. I think Bosco was the first person to leave.
Yeah.
Despite you leaving first, all of you felt the same length of time. It felt like a split second, but also an eternity of this cold, black, endless abyss. And then all of you at the same point, once again, became cognizant of your surroundings as you found yourselves just outside the door of this antique shop.
I think I step
So,
out
What
with
do you do?
clothes in hand. I'm like examining them, and I'm like kind of jingling my coin purse, like, oh shit! And I turn around and grab the door, pull it back open.
The door is firmly locked.
Yeah.
Christian called it super well.
Yeah, I was like,
I knew that was gonna happen.
I sort of looked down, like, well, shit. Having a bad day, guys.
Well, why don't we go to the inn and you can take a nap?
What are you talking about? You just got a new set of clothes for free. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk.
I don't know about you guys. I'd like to go to the inn and
Okay,
find out.
No way.
Grim can tell me what this stuff is now, maybe.
We'll see.
Huh? I can definitely try.
Actually, on that note, some of those aren't finished. So that's cool. You can identify them. I have no problem telling you what they do when I finish them, which will be this week.
Okay.
So, what I am going to tell you is that it'll probably make no bearing on your guys' time here, I think. I just did not have time to finish all of the items because I had like 24.
Okay.
So you have them, they're magical. I just don't have them finished yet. Sorry.
Are the clothes finished?
The clothes are not yet finished. The clothes are actually one that I want to spend a good time on because I like the picture a lot. So
Okay.
they're not. I'm sorry.
Okay.
What is that picture from? I feel like I've seen it before.
Probably one of the PHPs or something. I literally just looked up like fancy women's clothing D&D or something, and it popped up, and I was like, well, shit, that looks good, and that looks deserty. So there you go.
Yeah, it does that. It does definitely have like a like official D&D art feel
Yes.
to it.
Yes, it has to be from some module, but
Yeah,
yeah.
it's got to be something.
Anyways, so you're going to the inn.
Yeah.
Who's ready to see Abby die?
I am
Oh, I know it's in here. I know it's in here.
just a character.
Who do you think's in here?
A puppy.
A Taras.
That would make Abby die.
A baby Taras that looks like a puppy.
Oh.
You guys come to the entrance
Oh
of
my
the
God.
of the Dusty Hoof Inn.
Oh.
Wasn't
What?
this place frozen?
Was it frozen?
It was a joke. You used the same map.
I don't think I did. Did I use this
Oh.
one?
Yeah, the guy was
did.
frozen.
I'm
Sorry.
pretty sure you used the same map.
Anyways, what you guys walk to is a front gate that opens up into a courtyard of golden retriever puppies. Well, some old, some puppies. You get the idea. Directly in front of you, you can see a door that leads into what you would imagine to be the main hall. Girl kind of sitting out front, strumming on a lute. That being said, what would you guys like to do here?
I want to whistle.
I'm just gonna roll around.
As as you whistle, a barrage of dogs come swarming to you. Do you have any meat or animal products in your inventory?
I do have fish jerky.
Okay, your fish jerky is annihilated by these dogs as they
Dang it.
pounce you and rampage into your backpack, chewing on fish and maybe griffin feathers if you have any. but they are licking you relentlessly. You are coming close to being as clean as Nidra post prestidigitation.
Excellent. I will pet all the dogs.
Okay.
I will help.
Oh, I lost one of the puppies.
It's
Where'd it
under.
go? There
Yep,
it is.
there. It was under somewhere.
Okay.
Dog pile.
I've been displaced by a small dog.
Bosco, as you walk into the tavern, to be quite frank with you guys, this one is very similar to Baldur's Gate. It's very crowded. It's very busy. The tokens do not represent how many people are in here. But there's a youngish middle-aged girl attending the bar, whirling around rapidly, serving drinks, cooking food, all sorts of things. In
I'll
here,
sit
you
at the
see
bar.
merchants, performers, you see shady-looking figures, fine-looking figures, all sorts of people.
I'll sit at the bar until she has a minute, keeping an eye on the shady figures.
She, wow. Let's see, what do we got here? What was this roll? Puts puppy
Ignore
on.
the end of that. The dog literally bit my hand.
Sorry. So you're sitting in here, and she's whirling around, and she passes 3 wooden tankards of ale, slides them down the bar to a couple relatively impatient patrons, and she sees you for a glance, and you know that she recognizes that you have just walked in, that you haven't been served, and while she is cooking on the back stove, simultaneously pouring more ale, you hear her say, "Ah, what can I do for you? Haven't seen you around."
Yes, I'd like a room here. And do you have anywhere where I could clean up?
You're more than welcome to clean up out near the well. There's a room. Anyways, yeah. Let's see. She looks up on the wall. She says, 1, 2, 3 wide. Okay, I have 2 small rooms, 1 medium room, and the outermost. Let's see, 2 gold, 2 gold, 5 gold, 5 gold. If you find an open room, feel free. Just let me know whichever you want. I'll get you a key.
Yeah, no
No
problem.
problem.
This one.
Which one?
What is
A
that?
minute.
I'm gonna
Bosco
take
is laying
that one,
claim
by the way.
to. Okay. You
Oh,
guys
wow,
be.
roomy.
7 looks pretty good.
Well, okay.
I'll go into room
I'll
7 with you.
We can go to 6. The rest of us can fit in 6.
Okay, so you don't want 5.
Yeah, probably not. I
want-
guess
I
6.
don't think the rest of us can.
Many of us can.
Okay, move to what rooms you want for me. Then I'll.
I guess I feel better when I'm
I'll
with
just
people.
stay with the puppy.
Just let me know where you guys plan to sleep. Yes.
Wait, can we all fit in
Should we
the?
over-
Wait, can we all fit in here? I don't think we could all fit in here.
There are 3 beds in that room.
Yeah,
I can sleep
that
on the
seems
floor.
Great.
I'll sleep with Pete.
I mean, isn't it the same price to go to 7 versus 6? Why
Freezing?
would we take 7?
There are stables.
Oh, there are stables.
Oh, it's true. It's 1 gold a day
Oh,
for the
I'm going to the
stables.
stables. Bye, y'all.
Saw that.
Okay.
Good time. I'm sorry, I didn't know
You
they
might
had
want to
stables.
ask if you could sleep in the stables.
Oh, they're not gonna check.
That's not something they would look for.
Lo
I'm
and
sure they-
behold, this inn has an RA who. X.
It's okay. I'm an expert. I can talk to these.
Roz
Okay.
here.
Move to where you want to sleep for me. This is actually important. I just want to know so I can mark down rooms and.
Wait, where are the stables?
I
Is
just
it
I
one,
just
like-
paid the 5 gold for the night, by the way. Just so you know.
Okay.
Oh wait, are we actually going to sleep right now? Is that
No. I just want to know so I can mark it where you guys are,
okay.
so I can change the colors and stuff. Okay, so the 3 of you in that room. Bosco's got his own room, and Treek is sleeping in a sty.
I'll pay the 1 gold.
Is he
Okay,
so freaking
it's
nice?
Okay,
place of
cool.
residence.
Remember where you're at for me. Just so you guys know, this also includes food. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Dope.
Yay, food. I have candy. I'm kind of good.
Actually, Treek, yours doesn't. Yours literally includes hay.
That's fine. I have good berries and hay. I'm good to go.
So dumb.
Okay, so you guys can go back to what you want to do. As you guys reapproach the bar, Nidra, you're the first up, and letting her know the room you've decided on. She hands you a key as you make your initial day's payment.
Yep. And from across the bar, I just
What
kind
she
of I
also gives you, by the way, is she does give you a smaller key, which, as you looked in the room, you presume to match up with a pretty stout-looking wooden chest in there. But so you have a or a key to the room and a key to a chest within the room.
Okay.
Same for you, Bosco.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ask for a key to the stable that I want to sleep in with Pete, and say I want to keep Pete there.
It was not locked. You literally walked in, saw there's nothing in this one.
Got it.
It's not
I'm
even like a
not gonna do
proper
that.
door. It's like a little wooden fence on here.
All right, that's fine.
Okay. I just want to make you aware.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I don't.
Okay,
Too
sorry.
much.
So we can go back to playing D&D here. My bad.
Puppy.
It's probably about 2:30ish right now. What do you guys want to do?
New fancy coat.
Roll for play.
Okay, so you're gonna spend some time really scrubbing up. I've got this
Yeah.
spot right here for you that kind of it's like almost a little shower graded floor there. That it's cold water, but you can kind of put water up here, and it's got a little pull down chain that opens up a sluice for you, so you can manage.
Cold water.
Sweet.
He's a halfling. How much smaller can he get?
That awkward moment when you can't reach the chain. Do you have any soap?
I might. I'd say I would.
Do you have it in your inventory?
No,
You might
because
have to go buy some, Christian.
You're a son of a bitch.
It's a general store.
There is a general store.
That is
I
true.
didn't
There
even
is.
see in the general store. In the PHB, there isn't even
Yes,
soap.
there is.
No, there's not.
Anyways,
We don't need to argue about soap, guys. Seriously.
No. This is the epitome of Christian and I playing Dungeons and Dragons is debating over the fact that there is indeed 5e SRD soap that costs 2 copper. But it's okay. I just like messing with them. Okay, so if you guys want to spend more time here, you can. If there's somewhere else you want to go, that's cool. I expect you guys to come back multiple places over and over,
There
as per
literally is
usual. So.
soap. Damn it.
Put on your fancy clothes and be done with it. Do you want me to shoot it to see if it's magical? Remember when I did that?
No. I don't need
No,
a hole
no,
in this
wait.
fancy cloak.
I could check and see if my bow is magical too. We could do 2.
2 birds, 1
Equals-
stone. Fantastic.
They're not done. Stop using this shit. Abby actually used like one of 3 that was completed. So
Hi.
fuck off. So what do you guys want to do?
Get drunk.
Armory.
Okay.
Yeah,
Are
I
you
thought
any?
me and Shriek were
Wanna-
gonna go to the armory and the
Much
potion
nicer.
place and the market, I think.
Nidra,
Who
how many
wants-
drinks are you having?
Like 2 or 3.
Hard alcohol?
House ale, fortified or not, I don't know.
Okay. Go ahead and
IPA.
mark down 3 silver. And you are currently intoxicated.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Are we
How much-
using intoxication rolls?
No, not like that.
Hope it doesn't affect your decision making and.
Yep, that hasn't happened before with Dragon Pong. Okay.
We won, didn't we?
So let's see. I'm gonna move us back to this screen quick. Some of these I do, some of these I don't have maps for. Where do you guys want to go?
Shriek, why are you going to the homestead?
Well, I wanted to go follow that guy and tackle him, make sure he was okay.
He's gone, dude.
And
And you know
he went to the
to
other side of
farm,
town.
right?
Yeah.
You know what?
He
Oh,
went to the
He went to the
farmstead.
farmland.
I'm at Nessa. Make
Um,
sure she's okay.
both of you give me a perception check.
Sure will.
Exactly 10. Come on, Kyle, you got this.
Bosco, as you start walking up, you're just kind of keeping keen to your surroundings. You can see what is in kind of this open air smith space, and you see a woman kind of pounding away at a sword at the moment, and you see a number of swords mounted on the back wall. You're not really impressed with the quality.
Really?
Like, this is like subpar. It's functional, but it's not like this strikes you as something that's made as a quick sell to travelers along the road, something that is functional and may scare off like very poor bandits or wolves or things like that, but this is not craftsmanship.
I'll whisper to Kyle.
You cut out. What?
Yeah, you cut out.
Now you're just talking and nothing's happening.
Uh-oh, Christian's broken.
Christian's broken. It happens.
As for that, though, the blacksmith is relatively uneventful. You see people coming up in droves purchasing these very rapidly made, very quality armaments. Some
Alright,
people even buy literally a dozen weapons at a time, mostly spears, and you can see him outfitting people for travel, caravans, the such. I think his internet just died. I'm not sure.
Yeah, he just dropped from both Discord and the game. Oh,
what else do you guys want to do?
hello?
Well, I was gonna ask to silver some arrows, but I can see now that might not be the best idea.
Hello?
Although I don't
Christian!
know.
My internet went broke, dude.
I hate when it gets broke, dude.
Give me an intelligence check, Treek.
Okay. Here's where we find out how dumb Treek is.
You're kind of familiar with the silvering process. Yana's had a couple things silvered before. That being said, it's really little more than dipping it in silver. This may be something reasonably accomplished by this blacksmith.
All right, time not wasted.
Okay, so you want to silver some ammunition?
Yeah, I do. Should I talk
Okay.
to the blacksmith about it? See what kind of feelings I get off of the, like, if she has done it before.
As you kind of approach, you're kind of shoving past people. You're able to get up to the clearing, and this relatively pretty, actually, but still very gruff and muscular girl, probably in her late 20s, looks at you and says, "Okay, what can I do for you? What is it? 10 swords, 2 spears, couple sickles?"
What is this, Costco? Do you only sell in bulk?
As you say this, she kind of sits here, and the metal just continuously tink, 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 tink. She's pounding metal on a sword. Finishes it up relatively quickly, like literally this sword, from the time you saw her initially, she's almost done at this point before she tosses it into a barrel of water off to the side. No, seriously, what do you need? You're taking up my market space.
All right. I was hoping you could silver some arrows for me. Is that something you've done before?
Yeah, do you gonna need new arrows, or do you want some done in particular?
Nothing particular.
Okay, great. Let's see. I think I have. She kind of steps around as she tosses back her smith's mallet, and you see her kind of walk around a corner just into the inside of this building, and you hear a cracking sound. As she looks down underfoot, you can see a splintered arrow shaft that was abandoned to the floor. She says, "Shit. Okay, hold on." You hear them rustling around and back, and she comes out with a very low quality quiver. containing 10 arrows. The arrows are fine. They'll fly true. They're not the nicest arrows you've ever used, but they're reasonable.
Okay.
And she puts them down in front of you. She says, "All right, 10 pieces, 100 gold."
Does that include in the quiver? Because I have my own.
Nope. This quiver is nothing but junk. Make 'em by
Can
the dozen.
confirm. Yep, I can see that. Okay. Yeah, I'll take that. 10. You say 10 silver per?
It's 10 gold apiece.
That's worse. Got it. Okay, cool. I'll give her 100.
Okay, you have 10 pieces of silver ammunition.
Alrighty, I'll use them sparingly. Thank you for your time.
Hey, Kyle.
Yes, sir.
If that bow's magical, you don't need magical ammunition.
And if it's not,
I was gonna tell him that as soon as Nidra actually saw him.
no.
I
like this
almost. I just wanted to watch it happen. I'm sorry. I'll give you some gold if it matters.
It doesn't. Because doesn't know shit about shit, so this makes total sense to me.
Bullies.
Why do you think I chose this character?
Okay, what do you
Alright,
guys want?
I'm gonna be very happy. I'm gonna walk out with a grin on my face and be like, show Bosco, like, look at this cool stuff.
I'll give him the thumbs up and I'll give him a really good fake smile.
Okay.
It seems fake.
Hold on. Hold on.
Yeah,
You
but
don't
it
notice.
seems real.
It's true. So what's next, guys? Sorry, I have a couple of these I didn't build battle for because a blacksmith I don't feel needs a battle.
No, that's
Just
fine.
You guys have anything?
I'm going to proceed my way up to the homestead to try to catch up with Nessa.
Do you want backup on that?
If Nidra wants to come along, I'll definitely, like I said,
I'll-
extend
I'll-
the
No.
invitation.
I'll go.
Yana,
But-
I, know you
I
like
will
fake
then
ones.
go too.
Okay, real quick. First of all, reminder, you guys still have your to take care of.
You have what?
Second of all, make a history check, Grim.
We still have our what to take care of? You cut out for me.
Horses.
Oh. Yeah.
Shit.
We have those?
Yeah,
we have
Yeah.
horses? What's that?
I would have left them. I would have asked to leave it at the end if I remembered.
I would put it at the stables.
I would have gotten a stable stall too.
17.
Okay. You have been here a number of times. Do you remember this to be the end of the trade way? The homesteads branch out a long to the north, or at least they used to. You're not quite certain at this point. Basically, in short, you're looking at probably at least an hour's walk out. So you can go. I'm just letting you know that.
Seems less good
what
now.
ti- what time did you say it was?
2:30.
Probably going on 3-ish.
I mean, that's not that bad.
I think I'll in that case I'll actually probably stay in the town proper. I'm not that excited to see this woman again that I want to take that hike.
Yeah.
Plus, Nidra's intoxicated.
She did
Yeah,
do
let's go
18
get some
damage to me
baked
less.
goods.
Okay, do you want to go, Grim, or are you skipping for now?
I mean, if it's only 3 o'clock, I'll still go. I don't know how long we're supposed to be in this town, so I'm not sure like when I would get another opportunity to.
That's fair.
Okay. Let's see here. I just need to change some stuff real quick. Copy. Okay, make a survival check for me.
Oh, there it is. 7.
Okay. So you go out walking for a bit. There's a lot of different wagon tracks here. You're a little familiar with what her wagon tracks look like, just with. I mean, you've spent some time on the road. Maybe a little disoriented, but you find your way near a small, kind of dilapidated homestead. You can follow the tracks of her wagon kind of up this hillside here. But this is where you find yourself.
Okay. I'll make my way up to. I'm assuming like I can see where she's at, or no?
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then I'll make my way up there.
Ooh, so you made your decision to join me after all, huh?
Well, I mean, join you for now. Again, as I said, we have to leave very soon for an important matter. Before we do though, figure it couldn't hurt to see what you may have. Or
Time
you
enough
could.
for a cup of coffee.
Sure, why not?
You see her reach into a very familiar pocket dimension that she keeps many of her, in fact, almost all of her valuables in, and she withdraws a pair of nice porcelain cups, which she pours into a very strong, as much, a much younger boy. You weren't quite a fan of how bitter and black she keeps her coffee. Perhaps it's grown on you over the years. She pours you some, pours herself some, and you guys kind of sit on a relatively nice woven blanket beneath this tree talking. And she finishes off her first cup as you're talking with her briefly and pours herself another. And she says, "So, what I can offer you, huh? What are you looking for?"
Well, nothing in particular. You see, we're on a mission of sorts, or well, rather, we're kind of obligated to pursue these certain individuals, and I'll kind of just give her the whole sort of long and short of it of what we're trying to accomplish near the Well of Dragons.
You're telling me that my baby boy wants to go to the place where magic ceased to exist at first, the epicenter of it all. Curious. I guess that doesn't seem too outlandish for you, though. You always were a curious one.
I mean, again, the group I'm kind of with have just found ourselves in circumstances that sort of don't really give us a choice but to go.
Mm.
I would be lying if I said I wasn't interested. I think it may very well align with some of the goals that I personally have, but to be completely honest, I fear for this group a bit. We we had a rough go of it recently in El Terrell, and ultimately we came out the other end.
El Terrell? Why in the hells would you go to El Terrell? Oh, you're
Well,
serious. You
yeah,
actually went to El Terrell.
I was asking myself the same thing. To be honest, I didn't really have any stake in the matter. But we made it barely, and I understand it's a dangerous and dark place, or at least was before it was liberated. But I get this ominous feeling with all the forces involved that it's just a fraction of what's to come ahead.
Liberated. Perhaps I should find myself making my way to the coast, the first traveler to do it. I'll believe it when I see it. Well, I can't say I'm too surprised that you found yourself in such a curious group of individuals. That being said, it's a dangerous world. It's dangerous times. Has been for quite some time. You're a little too young to remember, but it used to be nicer. It used to be safer. Of course, the rising of Tiamat, the cult of dragons, changed that quite a bit, but history repeats itself. It remembers. It'll grow safe again someday, but of course that takes work on all of our parts. I still don't understand what you look to me for, though. Is there something you expect me to help you with?
Well, not in particular, really. I guess more just guidance, maybe.
In what?
Well, just what you think of this whole situation that we've kind of found ourselves in. What you think of the group and our chances, just what you've gleaned of them. I mean, it's obvious that you still hold some powerful magics and incantations that even I have yet to master. So, what do you think that we could do with just the skill set we currently possess?
Well, let me see your spellbook. Let's see how far you've come.
I'll kind of reluctantly hand it over.
It's the same spellbook you've had for years, and she looks at you and she says, "And the other one?"
I'll kind of, again, reluctantly dig out of kind of like a secret pouch and like my backpack and hand her that one as well. Just kind of the backup one with some other spells.
How have you really started working on that yet, or no?
No,
Okay.
no, it's really it's
She
just
starts thumbing through page by page and just looking through. She starts with the cantrips, many of which she had taught you, and some of the lower level spells, and progresses even into some of the newer ones that you've acquired. And quickly, she realizes that your second spell book is quite empty. You've managed a few cantrips in some of your first level spells, but there's not much there. And she looks at you, and you see her face get a little red, and she picks up the the secondary spellbook and just clubs you over the head with it once, twice, and she says, "What are you going to do if the first one burns? You ask me what my opinion is. You need to be spending more taking care of yourself."
well, you see, I mean, with that, there's a matter of coin. Copying spells is not a cheap matter, and
There always is. You know this. Sorry that I'm not here to sponsor you anymore, but it's okay. You need to keep up on yourself, even if it's just a few of the important ones. The ones you love, the ones you use, all of them, but something to keep you going. If the rest of your group is as ill prepared, and she says this as a Snyder mark, something that it takes you back to just that phrase of ill preparedness that takes you back to your time as a younger man under her mentorship. It's almost a little haunting, a little, it may even raise a bit of disdain perhaps, but she says, if the rest of your group is this unprepared, you might not find yourselves with them much longer at all. You may be completely, especially if you truly do mean to go to the well. Take your time.
note taken.
Invest in yourself. Take your notes, study them always. Work on your books. Remember, you and I are the same. Nothing without our books. Take one, leave it at home. Take another, keep it with you. Maybe a third in your backpack. It's okay. But remember, you are only as good as your notes. It takes so long to learn these things, so long to memorize. Grim. You need to take care of your knowledge. It's all that people like us have. She pulls out a vial of ink from her backpack. It's not much left. There's about 50 gold of this ink left, and she hands it over to you, and she says, "Look, you have to get on this. You have to keep yourself busy. You never know where this world is going to take you. Take care of yourself so you can take care of others." Make sure to add that to your inventory sheet.
Okay, you said about 50 gold worth of ink.
Yeah, it should be like one non-abjuration or abjuration.
Okay.
You know. Look, you know that I've traveled with a variety of people, and I know that you've traveled with a variety of people. Everyone's capable in their own right. But would you want to travel with a swordsman who doesn't sharpen his blade? Always keep yourself sharp, no matter the cost, no matter the means to find the cost. You have to take care of your tools, Grim. She's now on her third cup of coffee. not too surprising to you, maybe a little more than she used to drink, but you're kind of nurturing your first one still.
Well, as much as I hate to admit it, you're right. I'll definitely take that advice to heart. But still, I can't help but feel we're not just fully ready for the battles to come. I don't know. I worry if I can contribute enough.
You've always contributed to everything you do, whether it's getting a caravan stuck out of a mud, helping people in their darkest times, fighting off bandits. It's a variety of things. And have you ever shined at any of them? No. But you've always tried. You've always put forth effort to the things you do, even if it's something you're not particularly good at. Do you remember the time that you saw the boulder in the middle of the and you thought someone was going to hit it someday? It's half the size of you, and you still tried to get it out of the way by yourself. You always try. That's all you can do. If you don't try, you'll never succeed. You'll never learn. If you are never to open a book to try to read it, to transcribe a spell, you never gain access. And sometimes you fail. And that's okay. But you have to try.
Well, I mean, I guess at the end of the day, that's all we can do.
And you're absolutely right. If we were to sit in our ivory towers, our pocket dimensions, our mansions, our magical huts, and sit here and wait out the inevitable, what would we be? Why would people like you and I sit doing that while we could go travel the roads of meeting new people, making new friends, learning new spells, drinking better coffee, smelling the incense? Why stay idle? Explore, experience. Sometimes you'll find yourselves down on coin, of course. Happens to all of us, happens to me, you know that. We've had winters where we've barely had enough to eat along the road. It comes and it goes, as many things do. But we never stopped trying. You'll be fine. Trust in your friends. They might not be the brightest, but perhaps they are the strongest, the quietest, the stealthiest. Have trust in them. The world doesn't on your back alone.
I guess that's always come hard. I guess I will just have to trust them.
Try. That's all you've got to do is just try. So, is there anything else you wanted to ask?
Uh, that'll be all for now. But did you really have to blank her mind like that? I mean, I know she's a novice, and I know she can get a bit ahead of herself, but she just wants to learn.
She's lucky I didn't set her robes on fire like I would of yours. Let's be frank, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I guess it could have been worse.
How many times had you complained because it being cold during the snow, only for me to immolate your robes right off of you and make you travel the rest of the day butt naked? Trust me, something that would last only a month, she would have recovered just fine. The other hand, making a public indecency effort in the middle of the town would have had much worse lasting effects.
Yeah, I'm still not sure what lesson I was supposed to learn from that, but I guess you're just wise beyond your years.
I don't think I ever heard you complain about how cold it was ever again. You found yourself nicer robes, warmer robes, closer to the fire perhaps, and harder work in keeping yourself warm. Everything in life is a lesson. Whether we take it well or worse, we learn. That's what we do. You have lessons to teach them, and they have lessons to teach you. Now, some of them are less pleasant. However, the only way that we can teach is through our own experience.
And I think with that, Grim will kind of finish his cup and kind of thank her for the coffee and the advice and proceed to kind of meet back up with his party.
As you kind of stand up and say your goodbyes. She calls out to you maybe once you get 10 or 15 feet away, and you hear a sound of almost sadness in her voice, a sound of loneliness, maybe. And she says, I'll be in town for 2 more days. If you ever want to travel the road again, you're welcome to. You've always got a place on my caravan. And with that, you feel another magical sensation from behind you, not as powerful as the one before, but a similarly familiar one, as a portal about the size of a door frame opens. She steps through, and it closes. The leaves nearby rustling off the trees, falling to the ground at your feet. With that, you find your way back towards your party.
And on my journey back, I just kind of think, I mean, she could have done that for me too, I guess, but
You are well
Must be
acquainted
another-
with her.
must be another lesson.
That being said, finding your way back to town is not that easy. You walk the paths for a while, kind of retracing your steps, and you start thinking more about the things that Ness had said to you, both now and in the past. And after about an hour, you find yourself outside of the same building that you just talked with her with. You've been following the wrong cart tracks. You afterwards find yourself following the perhaps correct cart tracks, and you'll find your way back into town probably at about 7 or 7:30. That being said, survival's not your strongest suit. So while he was off doing that, what did the rest of the party want to do?
Notice
Grim's
board.
mom's a bitch.
Bakery.
I say we should murder her.
Okay, that's probably a good idea. You're right.
You can certainly try.
All right, I heard notice board. Who said notice board?
I said notice board.
Okay. There are currently 2 postings on the notice board. The first one says, I need someone capable of making the trek to my old house in the abandoned homestead district to retrieve something dear to me. You know where to find me, Leon. And then tacked on to the bottom of that, it says, P.S. If you're that daft or simply new to town, I'm at the Dusty Hoof, drinking my life away. Or whatever's left of it, anyways. The second notice says, my wife and I are expecting a baby soon and will need some local honey for them to stop their sneezing. Well, that's what Presimir says, anyways. Please see her for delivery and payment.
Herbalist, herbalist.
Who's pressing?
That would
Bakery,
make
bakery.
sense. Yeah, I mean,
Bakeries have
I'm
honey.
as hungry. They do. Yeah, they should.
There you go. Sorry, those spaced poorly, but you get it.
Mhm.
Okay, what's next?
Did I hear did they tell me that the herbalist was a halfling?
Did we?
Do
I feel
they
like we did.
remember
No,
that
that's not
it's a
relevant.
halfling?
We're not racist.
Do they
Speak for
remember
yourself.
that?
Actually, I do not like halflings. That is canonical.
Yeah, Abby hates my race. In real life and as Yana.
Correct.
Okay, Bosco, are you going to the herbalist?
Yeah, did they remember that they went to the herbalist?
The party?
Yeah,
Yes.
because they just appeared in it.
Yes.
just
They
weird.
they have their memories.
Okay.
I don't know if I do, but
Yeah. maybe
You
not.
were
That's just
still
'cause Nidra is
cognizant. You
drunk.
just weren't. Like, you have your memories. You could still see. You just couldn't process thought.
I thought it was because Nidra was drunk right now.
also that.
I'm going to move you to the shop.
All right, let's talk to this kind of creepy halfling.
Bosco, you find your way into the herbalist shop, and you see a
I
very
thought
small.
Shriek was going with me.
Is he?
I mean, I'm kind of hungry. I probably head to the bakery.
Okay.
Start.
You find your way in here, and there's an old woman trimming small mushrooms.
I'll say hello in halfling.
You see her hunchback form kind of perched over, looking very inch at this mushroom, and she snaps up at the sound of halfling, and she turns around, and in halfling she looks at you and she says, "Hello. What
Hello.
are you doing here? I haven't seen you before."
I just got into town, and I saw on the board about honey.
Oh, yes. Mm. Newlyweds preparing for their small child. I told them if they wanted to avoid his development of allergies, he would need to be having a nice consumption of honey as he grew.
Huh. You have a nice shop here.
Well, I appreciate it. It's not very often that I have people with taste coming through this hovel anymore. The
Oh,
town, not my
of
shop.
course not.
But it's nice to see a halfling. Yes, if you are looking for work, I could use some honey. Let's see. The farmlands did used to have a number of beehives, probably overrun by now. I would go get them myself, but last time I earned myself this. And she lifts up almost a little too high her shirt and shows right along her rib cage what was probably at one point a pretty nasty laceration, now formed with scar tissue. Seems that the bears have taken a liking to honey. Just a few. But if you can find a way to get them away, you could probably bring enough back. I'd be much happy to pay you for it.
How much would you need? And just asking, could we maybe do a trade?
Perhaps a few jars, but what are you looking for?
I'm looking for healing. Or what? Let me ask this first. What do you sell? Or what do you sell and trade in?
All sorts of things. It takes time. Let's see, for healing, let's see. We need worm root, a few drops of basilisk blood, small piece of ebony crushed up very finely, and coincidentally, a few drops of honey or sweet oil. I'll tell you what, if you can bring me a couple jars of honey, maybe 2 or 3, I'd be more than happy to make you a potion of healing.
That would be very helpful in our endeavors.
Well, you know where to find it, and you know where I am. If you come by early in the morning, you may catch me in a brighter mood, especially if I'm drinking my coffee. I do love my coffees and teas. But once you have it, feel free to come back, and I'll get to work on that potion for you immediately.
Well, thank you. And you have a great day.
I'm sorry I didn't catch your name.
Philippe.
Philippe, it's a pleasure. It's not often that I hear names of old spoken. Many other halflings have lost the touch of their ancestors. My name is
Oh.
Presimir. I've been
Nice.
here for generations.
Well, nice to meet you.
And
And
likewise, Philippe.
I hope to bring you some honey as soon as I can.
I look forward to it.
Have a great day, and bye-bye.
Rest of the party, what would you like to do? I think I heard bakery.
Yes.
Bakery.
It might just be because I'm actually hungry.
Okay, who's going to the bakery?
I am.
I'm going to move you guys kind of back. So Grim and Bosco have done their stuff. I heard Yana is. Who else is going to the bakery?
I'm going to the bakery. I don't know where the bakery is. It's up there. Shit.
Treek and Pete are going too. Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Abby also asked me for a bakery. This is going to be fun. Treek, give me a perception check. You hear a very familiar, something you've which is the familiar ting, ting, ting. The sound of a blacksmith's mallet hitting some stone or metal or some sort like that, coming from within the bakery. Let me go ahead and copy your guys' tokens really quickly here. What happened to Pete? What happened to Pete? What?
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Why is Pete on the map layer? How did you do that?
I literally didn't do anything.
Why are you on the map layer? How did you do that? How did you do that?
I can't grab myself.
What did you do?
It's gonna be a long night.
How did you move your lair? I've never had that happen on Roll20. He and Pete were on the map with.
4 years of computer science, computer engineering. That's
Hacks.
a lot of
Get it.
Okay.
A lot
You
of
guys, give me a second here, because this is a very, very, very. You guys find yourself in front of a bakery. A sign overhead is scrawled in probably the most horrible comment you've ever seen. And as you open the door, you smell a mix of fresh bread, hot iron, and perhaps gunpowder? And you guys walk into the Spice and Wine. The
The
bakery is currently being tended to by 2 orcs, one of which is shirtless, both of which have interesting hair to say the least, and chef's hat, one of which is barehanded handling bread within what looks to be a repurposed forge, the other of which is literally pounding dough with a blacksmith's mallet.
What are your names?
They look at you, and for a second they both freeze, and they look at the 4 of you as you walked in as if they weren't expecting anyone, and then they suddenly go back to pound, 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 pound on the bread as one of their hands smolders lifting out this tray of bread, and one says, "Me name Drog. This is Brog. Welcome to Spice and Wine."
What a lovely place.
You see something that a lot of you are familiar with enough, as you've all watched Bosco repack his firearms. There's a pile in the open air of gunpowder in the corner of this building adjacent to the stove.
I've done this
You
once
see-
before. I exit.
You see Brog go and pick up a shovel with holes in it as he shovels in a large bit of gunpowder into the oven. Nidra promptly leaves. The 3 of you are in this bakery. He says, as Brog looks over, he says, "What you want? Bread? Wine?"
Bread.
Do you get a deal on that gunpowder or what?
"We no use gunpowder. We use bread powder."
Ah, yes. Do you get a deal on that bread powder or what?
"Good deals. Many people bring bread powder." And Yana, for 2 copper, you are provided with a loaf of bread. Make a perception check.
Where did you find these
Oh, no.
tokens?
You asked, so I provided.
He commissioned them just for you. This is the real
Aw,
anniversary
man.
present.
This bread, you're not sure if the primary ingredient is gunpowder or whole grain flour. It
Yeah.
smells good and it looks great,
Was it 3 copper or 2?
too.
Okay, I'll just take it and I'll follow Nidra.
You have a piping
Thank you.
hot, like burning, fresh out of a smithy stove loaf of bread, and you depart.
I'll toss him the copper.
Okay. Treek, you and Pete are in here, and Pete reaches over. What's the horse's name in Tangled? Maximus. Kind of
Maximus,
like
yes.
Maximus, as he reaches toward, just like Maximus would with an apple, kind of leans over and he takes a bite out of a loaf of bread. The 2 orcs look at Pete, first curiously, then frustrated, and perplexed as they may have already forgotten what had happened. And Pete just goes and annihilates this bread, and they say, "You'll pay for bread for your cow, or we use cow and bread."
Yeah, I'd rather pay, and I'll flip them a couple.
"Nope. Only one," and they throw a copper back at you. Or at least they think it's a copper, but it's a silver. So you lose 2 copper and gain 1 silver.
Okay, I grab the silver and then I say, "This is, just keep doing your thing. This is wonderful." And I throw it back at them as hard as
Okay. As you exit the door, you hear one of them say, "Come back Thursday. Cooking lessons Thursday night. We do display at market. It's very good. Many people say explosive performance."
All right, wait, what day is this? This is important.
Make an intelligence check.
Oh no. It's full.
Thursday is the day just made up.
You think it's Monday, but you're not certain.
Well, it's a good thing I can shoot.
Anyways, now that you've met my fine bakery crew.
That was great.
Oh, I'm sure Abby said good job. I think she's gonna have a lot more. She specifically wanted to go into baking here, so I think it's gonna be a fun time.
This is great.
Okay, what else you guys got?
Let's be
Uh,
real. This is
whoa,
where
whoa,
nature
whoa.
was always going to end up.
I'll break the bread in half and hand some to each.
Okay. So first of all, as you guys exit this, you also spend some time around just enjoying drinks and kind of chatting and and kind of the crossroads here as it dies down for the evening. As you see a fairly tired-looking Grim kind of stumble back into the crossroads, as his boots have quite a layer of mud on them as he trudges back in. But nonetheless, you guys are all reunited.
I'll shout back to Grim, "Why didn't you take your horse?"
It was nice to have the time alone.
Do you want some weird bread?
Who did you hand the chunk of bread to?
Uh,
I need you to roll a 1d2.
Oh no.
I don't know if she eats it.
No, I know. I just need her to roll a...
Oh, sure. That's not how you do that.
Ooh, you critted. Nice.
As Yana tears this... Stupid. As Yana tears this bread apart, she hands a piece to you, which you look at quizzically as, "This smells like gunpowder and metal."
I do want to eat it.
And you see in Yana's half, which she hasn't seen yet, as there's a smoldering chunk of either metal or coal in her bread.
I bite it. I don't even.
Okay.
I raise a hand and I'm like, ah!
You take 1 point of fire damage as you feel like a silver dollar sized piece of coal on your tongue, red hot, before you spit it out. The bread is very nicely cooked in the middle, though. It's not doughy in the slightest.
Doughy bread is the best.
I will kind of look at it and pick out any extra burning pieces and then eat around.
It's the only one you find.
I closely examine my bread.
Yours looks to be okay. It looks like it was almost put in the center by design to keep the bread warm or cook the inside. You're not quite able to tell, but it was pretty much dead center, so...
That's genius.
I'm so hungry now.
Grim, it's here. Want some bread?
I think I'm good. Thank you, though.
Alright,
They
I
use
eat
fresh
it.
offer.
bread powder.
Does it taste good?
It's actually surprisingly good.
Hell yeah.
There's definitely a little bit of a metal taste to it, but it's almost like it almost accents the bread. It's different. It's very much... You've never had something quite like it, but it's not bad. It's just really kind of strange.
Just gonna call it iron-enriched flour and call it a day.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what it
Made
is.
with natural ingredients.
No.
All right, I pull Bosco aside and say, "Listen, I think we need to go back in there. I have a serious business proposition."
Okay, but first, Shriek, I got us a job.
What?
You know that honey job we saw on the board?
Yeah, honey for the honeys. Yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, that's
We're gonna
clever.
do that job.
Oh, just to get. I mean, can't we just make Ninja? I don't know. Can you just make?
What do I look like to you?
You look like a girl who just makes things happen out of nowhere with her palms and her.
He's saying that honey
Yeah.
must flow freely from your bosom.
That's not.
That
what I'm
must
saying.
be how it works in Shriek's eyes. That's the only way.
I mean,
Shriek.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
We gotta go to the farmlands.
He has a cow that produces milk. Therefore, females must produce honey.
Or at least something. I mean, something useful.
Shriek, we gotta go to the
I make it start raining on top of Shriek.
farmlands.
The clouds open up and a deluge comes down on Shriek, very isolated, as there's now a large puddle of mud within the middle of this dusty street. However, not as much
I-
dust is being kicked up with the recently found humidity in the air.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I probably by now know what's happening, so I go and hug Nietzsche.
That's fine.
Don't be sad.
I take it. That's good.
Don't be sad.
Nietzsche's brand new clothing is soaked and a little muddy.
I just sort of step off to the side of the street and quickly prestidigitate myself clean.
Okay. What's up next, guys?
I say hugs, and then I grab them both and pick them up.
Do you say hags?
Hugs.
Hags.
Okay.
Drunk
Nietzsche's
Nietzsche
saying
wants to go to the
the
bookstore.
library. Who's going with her?
Was that a no on the honey?
I live here now. This is fine.
No, you can't make honey. We need to go
Okay.
steal it from bees.
Okay, I'm gonna pick up
Okay,
the three of
fine.
you. Tough shit for the rest of you.
Oh, what?
Uh,
I
Oh
wanna go-
man.
Well, let me see how big it is real quick. Hold on.
It's
If
big enough.
if it's not big, I wanted to go to the general store and get soap and alcohol.
Okay, you can do
Ooh.
that. Go ahead and mark it
Yeah,
off at
some
PHP prices. Yeah, sorry, Shriek, you're getting kicked out. Oh no,
I'm going to the
Bosco.
general
Oh,
store,
Bosco said
too.
it's small. Okay, so I'll add Yana then. It's a really small battle map, guys. You guys can go into the general store. You can purchase anything a potion of healing for PHP price. That's on that page,
What page?
the item page in the PHP.
Gonna make me pull out my book.
Okay,
Where is the internet?
Soap, gallons of rum.
the three of you walk through a much nicer door with a sign overhead that reads the Lost Chapter, or excuse me, the Forgotten Chapter. And you walk inside to a very small, kind of disheveled library bookstore. You're not quite sure. There's a couple spots to sit. There's a few rugs, but this is what you walk into. Standing next to one of the bookcases is a much older human female, kind of thumbing through a few pages, taking her time reading, but perhaps a bit of a speed reader at that. And she turns around for a second and says, "Oh, hello. Welcome to the Forgotten Chapter. If there's anything you like, go ahead and read for a while. If there's something you would like to take for a reference, I'm more than happy to sell it to you."
Do you have any rare volumes? I'm kind of a collector of sorts.
To be quite frank with you, honey, there's so many things here, I don't even know what I have. It's a collection over a lifetime, really. Tell me what you can find, and we can find something agreeable, I'm sure. That being said, what would you like to look for?
Anything on the Well of Dragons, I think.
Okay, give me an investigation check. Okay, looking about, you do find, I don't know the term for it, bigger than a pamphlet. It's bigger than a pamphlet, but not a full book.
Magazine.
Kind of, but smaller. Anyways, with a few details on the Well of Dragons. Are you looking to look for more stuff or to read it?
I'll grab that. I think I want. What else do I want? What do I want?
There's a great opportunity, guys. Remember your last time at the library. Jump to it.
Ancient
There's
Red
tons of stuff
Dragon.
for you guys.
Circle.
I want more information on spell plague or the magic going away essentially.
Okay, that's going to be in the same book, just so you know.
Okay.
That kind of goes really hand in hand with the.
Yeah.
Here, how about this? What I'm going to do for you too, while you guys think about this, is I'm going to move you to the world map so you guys can look at places you've been and other landmarks in case there's anything that sparks your memory of things you'd like to know about.
I actually did have a question real quick
Sure.
while they're thinking.
Yeah.
Can I cast message at Nidra and ask her to hand me the bag of holding? Because I want to put some stuff in it.
I mean, you could walk back to her, no problem. I mean, you can cast it. There's no reason you couldn't walk.
I want to
Just
try
check.
message. It's just fun to try.
Okay, ping
If
it
I-
in chat for me. Oh, you
did.
did. Thank you. Within range. You're in the general store?
I could walk out of the general store, but yes.
Okay, so you poke your head back into the library as Nidra kind of sitting against the wall reading through this book, and you point at her and send a message. What do you say?
Could you come hand me the bag of holding? You can respond to this message.
Okay, we're not doing the trademarked. No.
No.
But okay, so Nidra, you hear in the back of your head, it's almost like your telepathic bond that Grim provided you with recently. Bosco's voice that says, "Can you come give me the bag of holding?"
I think I like stumble. I fumble a book I'm holding. I'm like, I turn towards the door. I sort of like shake my head and sort of like stumble over her, and I take the bag off my arm and say, "Don't overfill it," and hand it to him.
Okay.
Okay, symbol, and I'll walk back out.
Okay. So what else for the three of you in the library look into?
I don't actually have anything else right now. I'll think
It's
about
okay.
more.
I mean, you guys, I think we're going to be playing here next week too, guys. Plenty of opportunity.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about it.
Grim?
Yeah, I can't really think of anything off the top of my head.
Yana.
Is there anything on the surrounding area?
Make an investigation check.
Oh, pretty good.
You do find a book similar in size to the one that Nidra is currently holding. It is labeled as the Traveler's Guide to the Reaching Woods.
Sweet. I'll read it. Can I check it out? Is this like a checkout library?
It's more like a sit down kind of thumb through it like Barnes and Noble and then buy it. Like you can get a little bit before the employees start barking at you a little. That type of deal.
Okay.
People
I'll look
bark at you.
through it. Like, look at dangers in
They
it.
don't like you in there the whole time.
I spent
Um,
hours in Barnes and Noble and never been barked at.
I know, I'm just saying you get it. So just thumbing through real quick, there's a lot of really small words in here. This looks like it was actually the work of an explorer that was documenting this rather than here's an easy guide to not get eaten in the woods, and following that you see gnolls, you see some type of lizard creature, you see a lot of spiders depicted in these images. Some really large spiders. You're looking kind of at this image and it looks like a spider. You can't tell if it's looming over a person or a tree, or if maybe it just spilled some ink. You're not sure, but it looks kind of big.
Aragog.
Obvious.
Is there any like lore, like secret temples or something cool?
Maybe if you end up purchasing the book.
How much is the book?
Let's see for that. I'm gonna say 5 gold.
Really? Okay. That's fine.
The thing is, too, is that a lot of the stuff in here is very specific and very collector.
How much is the
Collectible.
pamphlet too?
It's gonna be the same thing, 5 gold. Your basic information stuff is gonna be 5 gold. If you guys want really specific, in-depth stuff, it's gonna be more.
I buy both of those.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, you guys can reference me or tell me what you want to learn at different times. What I will tell you, I've given you a little bit about the Traveler's Guide to the Reaching Woods. Little bit into the book of the Well of Dragons. This book also has a number of depictions, and as you look at the book that Yana was holding, they may have been written by the same person. You're not quite sure, but the illustrations at least look very similar. Um, what you see is an initial depiction, kind of a before and after picture, one of which looks to be almost like a tall mountain with almost maybe a volcano at the top, could be clouds, and almost a temple built into the side of that hillside. Now, what you see on the adjacent page, it looks to be a lot more flat. There still looks to be a temple of some sort. Um, Different temple, absolutely. But the landscape looks a lot small, or not smaller, but flatter. It doesn't look like the same kind of mountain terrain. Um, that being said, there's a few details and tips and tricks on how to get there that you could look into later. Just dangers of the surrounding areas. But the biggest thing that you see is right up there at the beginning is the before and after depictions of the Well of Dragons on either side of the spell plague.
Okay.
How much is 1 pound of hard
Interesting.
candy?
Mhm.
I think I saw 4 pounds on Amazon for $20 the other day, so I'm gonna say $5. $5 is gonna buy you a meal. I'm gonna say like 4
Well,
silver.
do you want to read what the? Yeah, that'll work. That's.
I'll tell you what. So for the soap, the candy, and the jerky, mark down a gold.
Okay.
How much about the ale? I feel like that's
Uh,
actually in the game.
It is. Did I write medium or did I write good?
You're getting a gallon? Is that what I saw?
A
3
barrel
barrels of quality. Is
of
that
good
on here?
quality ale.
You didn't write
Eight
what
gold
quality.
of 8 gold.
Okay, go ahead and I trust you to mark it down appropriately.
Yeah.
Is that really why you were looking at pounds of hard candy on Amazon the other day?
No, I was on broker tour and I had some candy, so yes, I was gauging how much to charge Christian in relation to current food prices.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I do a lot of that stuff. Anyways, I just
They
cracked my thumb
actually
super
do
weird.
sell a gallon or a pint of honey in the general store.
Not at this one.
How much is a block?
Okay.
How much does a block of soap weigh?
It's negligible, Richard. I'll tell you if you got a word.
It
I'd also
says
like to purchase some hard candy.
it says minus soap. It doesn't actually give me a weight on it.
Lame.
It's
Um,
just
think
that
it'll
it's
be
two
okay.
What
copper
about
pieces.
what about the barrels of barrel though?
A barrel is probably a gallon or a little bit more, so I'd probably put it at 12 pounds a barrel.
gallon of water weight, 8.34 pounds. So just
Plus
call
the
it.
wood,
Yeah, call it 10 pounds a piece.
so
That's a
30.
good call. Okay, I'm gonna charge you for the can. Christian,
What?
did I say 10 silver?
You said for the other stuff is 10 silver, or is 1 gold. For the
Okay.
jerky, the hard candy, and the soap.
Okay, you know what? I'm actually gonna knock that back. I'm gonna make that 2 gold, so mark off another one.
Yeah, that's fine.
Kyle, your candy is going to be 5 silver.
Okay. Can I also purchase some rations just in case I
Yeah.
really need
Go for it.
404 not
That's it.
found.
rations?
Okay, I'm going to move you guys back to the Scornubel map. It's getting pretty late now. One thing I will mention is you guys can see to the southeast. Southeast is pretty quiet. Southwest is pretty quiet. Like farmland and riverfront, you don't see much. You do see from the homesteads a couple lights that are lighting up, just off in the distance. The reaching
It's-
woods to the northeast look pretty dark, and the market to the east. You see a lot of people going that way. A lot of the carts that were going around here have kind of shifted over to the market. You can tell that the city is dying down a little bit while the market's livening up in the evening.
Okay.
I'm not trying to railroad you guys. I'm just saying, like, I'm giving you a time. You guys can totally skip it if you want.
Anybody want to go to the market?
No, I
I
hate
mean-
mini games.
I love me some minigames. I love losing. I
Pete-
love winning. I assume. Let's go.
Pete versus Bosco drinking contest.
All right,
Oh,
let's
we'll
do
get
it.
there. All right. Is anyone not going? Cool. You guys find yourselves to the Scornubel market. I have a ton of shit here for you guys. This is a lot different from the other markets.
Oh, boy.
I'm gonna go around real quick because I've got some stuff here, some of which is also not finished, but we'll get to it. Bottom right, harvest merchant. You guys see a lot of fruits and vegetables, very fresh. Fine clothing merchant, spice merchant, scroll and book merchant.
Is that like
Many of these are.
Spice from Dune
No, it's not.
or Spice from Critical Role?
No, it's not. We're not having illicit drugs in my camp. I refuse.
Sued.
Um, no, it's not
Wait, is
lame.
this hard candy actually hard candy?
Yes,
That's some.
It's for my.
it's not
dumb-
meth.
Wow.
Exotic
My mom
arms
makes
and
good meth.
weapon and armor merchant.
Not. Nope. That's a discussion for later.
Anyways, exotic weapons and armor merchant, protein merchant, which is your
Meat.
proteins, and a tinker merchant, and of course, a pie eating contest.
Hype. Is there protein powder?
Maybe. So, what do you guys want to get into?
I'm gonna have some pie by the end of the night.
I want to go this one and this one.
Okay, we'll start with the tinker merchant here. You see another halfling. He's literally like almost half your height. He's older than you, but he's really short. Looking over him, that may be because it looks like the bottom half of his legs were blown off at some point, and he may have replaced it with some mechanism to walk. You're not sure. Looks a little metallic. But he turns around and he looks at you, and he throws his arms up in the air and looks at you.
Hello.
He reaches out his hand and kind of waves at you.
Does he
And
speak?
he kind of waves his hands out around, and you see a number of different types of bullets and powders and other weird things. You're not quite certain they look like firearm related stuff, but all of these, as you look around, something that you're quite familiar with too, is that it looks like all of these jugs contain grain. Digging through them a bit, you kind of find these rounds and stuff.
I see rounds in it.
Yeah,
Like ammunition?
Ammunition, correct. It looks to be kind of disguised.
Okay. Can I use detect magic again?
Sure. You don't see anything here that's magical. You see some weird shit, dude.
Yeah.
There's some weird stuff here, but it doesn't appear to be magical.
I'll just ask him. What do you have here? Do you
He
have different?
kind of walks around and he walks over here for a second, and he points at one of the jars and kind of brings you in close and kind of scoops out a hand. And what you see looks to be a bullet that it looks like a normal bullet but elongated. And he puts his hands out in front of him parallel to each other, and then kind of traces what looks like a bullet going through both. And then he kind of walks up here and pulls you along with him and shows his finger kind of like a bullet, this time a normal size bullet, and he scoops one out, and you can see it looks like a cracked bullet almost. And he makes a signal that looks like a bullet going forward, and then kind of a psh right at the end. And he looks at you and he kind of nods excitedly with a big old grin. He pulls you down over here. He actually stops right here, this little jar right here, this red one. And he pulls something out. It looks kind of like the wadding you use, except very tightly bound, essentially.
Yeah.
And he takes one, and you see him kind of he looks like he's holding up a torch, and he holds this to it, and he holds it up to the flame, and he goes and you see him kind of like pretend to duck, and he looks up and he places it back into the jar.
Ooh.
And he walks over here and looks in these jars and starts scooping stuff out, and then he realizes there's nothing but grain. And he walks back over here to this this black one right here. And what you can see is this looks like a very fine, almost like a black whole grain. You know it
Yeah.
to be kind of like gunpowder, except it is super refined. It is like, instead of being like coarse and kind of sand-like, it's very soft, almost like a dried silt.
Okay. Is Treek with me?
Yep, right here.
I'll show him this stuff, and I'll ask him, is that kind of, because he was telling me about the bread. Is that kind of what it looked like?
You're asking me if it looks like bread?
No, the powder they were using, the bread powder.
Oh, that's a great question, Andy. Does it look like the bread powder that they were using that I?
You didn't take a real long look at it. This looks to be more fine, though.
I'd say this looks like the good bread powder.
How much?
He once again comes over to this side, and he points at these, and he holds up 5 on his hand.
Per shot?
He goes up here, and he pulls out one of the kind of cracked-looking bullets, and he holds up both hands, showing 10. Goes over here, once again remembers there's nothing in here. Comes over here, and you see him, he looks at his hands for a second, then toes, and he produces a small little abacus from his pocket, like super tiny. And it looks like he's counted out 25, you're not quite certain.
Okay.
And then he comes over back to this black jar, and he kind of looks at you and kind of peers beneath your coat a little bit and sees just the hilt of your flintlock there. And he
Mhm.
kind of looks at you and kind of like rolls his head along his shoulders and kind of gives you a
Sorry, you cut out. What'd you say?
he kind of rolls his head along his shoulders as he sees your pistol and kind of gives you a shrug, kind of like an I don't know look.
Like it might not work for that gun, or?
You don't know. He just shrugged at you.
Okay, I'll tell him I'll be back, and he has really interesting stuff.
He
I'm not
looks at
gonna-
you, and as you say that he's got this, is he has interesting wares. He looks at you, and he very vigorously his head open wide as he's looking at you, and he just nods and nods and nods.
Does it look like he doesn't have a tongue?
He doesn't appear to.
Great.
He's also missing a few fingers and a large patch of hair on the left side of his head.
Oh man, has he been
You are
eating?
reminding me so much of whatchamacallit right now.
I'm going to open up some stuff for you guys on this map, by the way. The protein merchants and the harvest merchants have prices associated with them. This is a way for you guys to get higher quality food for the remainder of your travels. The spice merchant also has a price with him. Fine clothing merchant is going to be for you guys to give me your customized looks and anything you want to order in particular, style-wise. I think we've had one of those before. I think we already did that too.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically, as I've hinted at with you guys before, what you eat matters, and how you kind of embellish that food matters. So keep that in mind as you prepare for your travel up to the Well of Dragons. What's next? Who wants to do something? I see 2 people at Scroll and Book Merchant. Is
Sure
that
are.
looks
Yeah.
good? Okay, sorry. I know. I'm working at it.
They're at the book.
What you guys see as you approach is this is kind of a less desirable location, but you are both very familiar with what is here, and you see, like right in front of you, crates and crates and crates of rolled up spell scrolls. In front of you, there looks to be about 24 of them.
Oh, Christ.
Jeez.
This much younger girl, about your age, Neater, maybe a year or 2 older. She may be just cresting 20. Looks at the 2 of you and says, "Oh, finally, somebody that knows what they're doing around here. You put me all the way in the back here because they thought, oh, what are you going to do with all your paper? Should we light it on fire?" And I told them it's for learning, and they said, great, you can go to the back. That's fine. What can I do for you?
Wow, I mean, they sound pretty terrible.
Yeah, a lot of what comes through here, people aren't interested in stuff like this. There's good money in it, though.
Well, that's always good. Just out of curiosity, I mean, I see all these scrolls here. What all do you have?
Stop me when you guys hear something that interests you, because I'm serious. I've got 20 scrolls here for you guys. Ray of Sickness, Thunder Wave, Magic Circle, Wrath of Nature. Here, let me help you out, Richard. I hear someone clicking.
It's not me.
Oh, that was actually me. Yeah, may have been Richard too, but
I don't know what magic circle is.
I
think
rolled
the
these
name
all up
is.
by hand for you guys with Abby.
If I remember with Magic Circle, I think the name is a bit of a misnomer. I think it's almost like an anti-magic circle, or like it holds someone in there. If I remember right, like it traps someone in.
Yes, you helped me. I said you.
Just. Do you have to have that spell slot to cast that spell?
No, there are rules for.
Yeah, you can use a scroll to cast a spell, even if you don't. Even like if it's a wizard spell, you don't have to be a wizard. You can use the scroll, but
Correct.
there are yeah,
Is there
there's
a chance to fail?
Okay, so
Yes.
here's what I got. If the spell is on your class's spell, or sorry, hold on, let me backtrack. If the spell is on your class list, you can read the scroll and cast its spell without providing any material components. So it does need to be on your class's list. You can read the scroll and cast a spell without providing any material components. Otherwise, the scroll is unintelligible. Casting the spell by reading the scroll requires the spell's normal casting time. Once the spell is cast, the words on the scroll fade and it crumbles to dust. If the casting is interrupted, the scroll is not lost. If the spell is on your class list but of a higher level that you can normally cast, you must make an ability check using your spellcasting ability to determine whether or not you can cast it successfully. The DC is equal to 10 plus the spell's level. On a failed check, the spell disappears.
oh, so maybe you can't cast it if it's not in your spell list then.
Correct. Oh, I just put all of that in a different chat. Whoops. Stand by. My bad.
Awkward.
I
You
sent
put
it to
that in my
Christian for some
message.
reason.
Sorry.
There you go.
I saw it, but I didn't realize that only I had it.
While you guys read through that real quick, I'm actually going to stand up for another quick second. I'll be right back.
Oh, this is all the spells too. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spare the dead.
Meteors.
Friends, isn't that a thing boss?
Friends is a bard. Spare the dying, I think, is only cleric.
Yeah.
Aid is cleric.
Can you get cantrips?
Me?
Like, can you add cantrips to your spell list?
No. I think only wizards can actually add these spells to their list. Or am I wrong in saying that?
No, I think you're right. There might actually be a feat that lets you do it, or maybe that was like a homebrew feat I saw. But yeah, I think by default only wizards can.
Because I know
But any-
sorcerers can't.
Yeah, but anyone can use it. And what he was saying about it being a higher level, like say you have one level in Bard, right? Like literally just one. But there's a 9th level Bard spell. Theoretically, you could. I mean, it's not going to be here, but theoretically, you could cast that Bard spell. It's just very, very unlikely to succeed. It's like a DC that you have to pass.
Okay, my arcane characters, how's it looking?
Hmm.
It's looking good. I thank you for bringing me into this loop.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I think there are spells that you can cast, Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there are.
I can cast heat metal.
Expeditious
Oh.
retreat.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you guys take
I
some time to
have
look over that. And it's
What are
something
the?
you'll... Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, what are the prices for these? Because that kind of changes things too.
Yeah, they're pretty high. Just so you know, cantrips in first levels are 75 gold a piece. Second to third level are 300 gold a piece. And if you guys really felt the investment to go fourth and fifth levels are 3250 gold a piece.
3250? Shoot.
Yeah.
Snap.
I
Well, And I know that seems random, but the thing is that cantrips in first are common, second and third are uncommon, fourth and fifth are rare, and that's the median price for magical items of those respective rarities. So
So second and third, you said was how much again? Sorry.
300.
300. Okay.
I know that's almost like completely unreasonable to you guys. This is also a late game thing too, just so you know. Like I know it sounds just downright retarded right now. I didn't want to just put in low level crap, you know.
Yeah. I kind of like look from the scrolls and say, do you buy by any chance?
I've been known to. What you got?
I pull out the Detect Magic scroll and the Mage Armor scroll. And I say, I don't know if I really have any use for these.
Let's see. I think it's a first level.
I think they're both first
What
level.
is this spell?
What's the other one? Detect magic and what?
Mage Armor.
She looks at you and she says, understanding that I have to make a profit on these, can give you 90 gold for the pair of them.
Works for me.
Awesome. Man, I love
Oh.
it. Not only are you guys willing to buy, but you're also willing to sell. This town needs more people like us, I swear. She hands over a pouch of carefully counted out 90. She kind of poker chip counts it out and slides it into a pouch for you, and you exchange coin for scrolls.
Sounds good.
That's a cool spell if Kyle could use it.
What spell?
Guardian of Nature.
Sounds cool.
But we don't have 3,200 gold to spend on it.
Yeah,
So-
so
What I'm gonna say,
3250.
is, let's take your time to research those over the coming week as you want, and we can come back to it next week because I'm sure we're gonna be back in the market.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works. One question, Andy, just kind of
Mhm.
research over the week, and I'll look into it too. I still in the DMG and PHB couldn't find the whole scrolls have a chance to fail if you're learning it as a wizard. So we could check on that because if it has a chance to fail, I may not buy these because it's a pretty big gold sink. But if it doesn't, then there's a couple that I'm interested in.
Okay, we can look
entered
into it this
the
week.
book?
What's that?
Yeah, to enter it into the book. Roll20 has a reference that says there's a chance for it to fail.
If it's a scroll,
Um,
yeah.
DMG page 200 and 201. Let me double check that real quick. We'll make a nice little thing out of it here. Hold on. Oh, because I get you. That is kind of a big contingency there.
Right.
What was it? What did I say? 200? 200,
The other
201.
question,
200,
Yeah, I think so.
201.
The other question is one of the ones I'm interested in is a cantrip, and I'm not sure how that works. Like if there's a limit on the number of cantrips you can learn or not, because I feel like I've heard there is before, but
There is, but if you get it off a scroll, I'm not going to punish you for it. Okay, that can't be.
Okay.
I'll look into this. Someone says DMG page 200,
Yeah,
201,
I mean,
but I don't see. That's a magic item page, so I'll look into it.
yeah, we have all week, no big deal.
Oh, stretch. Okay. What's up next? Abby, did you want to do something at the spice merchant?
I would like to acquire some spices.
Okay. Trade.
But now you made fun of me for my really long inventory list, so how do you want me to account for these spices?
Here's a page that you guys can look at.
Juice spice.
That's got wheat, flour, salt, ginger, cinnamon, pepper, cloves, saffron.
Ooh.
That's it. So, there you go.
And they're 1 gold?
A pound of a spice is a lot, though.
That is quite a bit.
Like that's a lot of spice.
Hey,
Do I
Abby,
go by
juice
the
spice.
prices on here?
Yes, you go by the prices on there.
Yana, do you know how to make food with these spices? Because
No. Grim, no.
I think Kyle can make food.
Treek, do you wanna
Or
look at
Treek
these? I like the smell of the cinnamon.
I'm sure there are a couple elvish dishes, breakfast dishes I can make with some.
Yana,
Cinnamon
Who has
toast.
proficiency in anything related to cooking or producing food? Talk to me.
I
what you got?
Again, I
have
have the
proficiency in
Elven.
fish preparation.
Okay, Nidra, you're gonna have a little bit. You're more of salts and peppers type of deal, the more basic stuff. What
Uh,
else do you guys got? Talk to me.
I
Aren't
have
you
proficiency in identifying precious metals.
Okay, that's great. Doing well. That might help for the bread.
Yana, what do you have? You have
I
cookies.
don't have anything. No.
Okay.
Treek does. Treek has cooking skills.
Treek,
I
what
think
you
in
got?
breakfast.
I have breakfast food and high elf cuisine.
I'm gonna say you know how to at least rudimentarily
Yeah.
apply most of these. The thing is like if you're cooking at a restaurant, okay, maybe you're not quite up to snuff. These could easily improve some of the food that you guys prepare on the road, though.
All right. I'll take one of everything. Let's go.
Okay, go ahead and mark down appropriately what you guys want to get. I'm going to move to. Yeah, I see you. I know. So Bosco, make an investigation check. You know what you see on this table?
What do I see?
Some real nice, finely crafted weapons and armor of elven make and dwarven make.
Ooh.
So for you guys feeling underprepared for the remainder of your adventure, I hear you. I'm actually glad that Grim brought it up. I am going to give you guys a hell of an opportunity here. This chick is selling weapons and armor with a +1 mod at 500 gold apiece.
Damn, son.
Only that was useful to me.
I feel you.
You remember when I was talking with you guys about who does and doesn't wear? Sorry.
Would they
Kyle,
happen
come
to
get
sell
armor.
+1 clothes? Like,
Oscar, did you say something?
Yeah, I said, Treek, you should come over here. We're gonna make a deal and we're gonna get some better armor.
All right. And I shove all the spices into my bag. No, I say, no, Nisha, come here. And I shove them all into her bag.
Oh fuck! What'd you buy? You actually have to tell me.
Wait, I still have
I
the
bought
bag.
spices. I bought one of every spice.
Treek, just
was
bring it
listed
over
on.
here. I still have the bag. I never gave it back.
Okay, and I waddle over there and I put some on Pete's bag. We like waddle over. Have my shirt like as a little pouch.
All right, so you bought a pound of salt, a pound of ginger, a pound of cinnamon, and pepper.
Yes.
You know, some of these we didn't need a pound, and some of these we probably need more than a pound.
Shh, I'm gonna make
that's
it
how
work.
it goes.
Cinnamon challenge.
Well,
Or not.
a pound of saffron and a pound of salt. I'd say we don't need a pound of saffron, and
I'm
then
so
we
excited.
probably need like 6 pounds of salt.
No, our food is going to be very colorful and not very preserved.
Oh yeah, it is. Okay, let's do this.
Oh my god.
What does this person look like?
She looks similar to the blacksmith earlier. She looks, in fact, they could even possibly be sisters. You're not too sure. But she is quite pretty. She doesn't really look like a blacksmith. It's almost like a valley girl dressed up like a blacksmith. Yeah, you get the idea.
Hello.
Well, hey, what can I do for you? You look like the type of person that needs some new armor weapons.
Me and my friend are in the need for some new armor.
Okay.
And I have this weapon, and I'll take them all off of my back.
Mm-hmm.
And this thing is amazing. But
Is
it's not
it?
my type of it's not my type of weapon.
Okay.
But I thought
Don't
you
see too
might-
many people walking around with mauls anymore. But okay. So what are you looking to do with it?
I'm actually looking to trade it in. It's very strong. It helps free Elturel. You may think I'm lying, but you can talk to my friend right here in his cow.
Who's
Hi, I'm
Elturel?
trustworthy.
Your name is Treek, not trustworthy.
Shh.
The city that was taken over by the undead.
The
If I'm
city's being
lying-
taken over by undead?
It was.
And someone named Eltrell's leading them?
Exactly.
Dude, we gotta get out of here.
Not this city.
That's fine.
We
What
saved
city?
the city.
You saved this
This-
city?
Yes,
On
we
Rocky
did.
Roll, yeah.
Well, that's cool. When that happened? I think I've
About-
been here for at least, I don't know, maybe a year.
And you
It was
didn't
a year and
notice
2 days
us?
ago.
Uh-uh.
Well, you're behind in the times.
So you must be Eltrell. Or maybe, is that... Wait a minute. Is the cow
Eltrell-
Eltrell and that's the one you freed?
Eltrell was the bad guy that we killed.
So
Well,
are
then
you
why
good at
did you
making
free
armor?
him?
So we could kill him. This is going totally wrong.
Okay.
So what could we get some armor, please?
Well, I can sell it to you.
How much would it be?
Mm,
How many sets of studded leather do we see on the table?
myriad.
Enough.
Yeah, plenty.
Yeah. Is she still thinking about a number?
Of what? How much?
Yeah.
500 gold.
Oh, 545 gold.
Well, she kept on saying,
I didn't hear you ask for a price, sorry.
Yeah. I said, how much would it be? Treek, how
Yeah,
much gold do you...
545 gold for the studded leather.
How much would you offer for this beautiful mall? If I could sell it to you.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what it's worth. I don't really buy things that much.
Do you have anyone that would that could tell you how much it is?
I mean, no. I had some guy buy them all like, I don't know, like 8 days ago, I think. But that was like the last one I had, so I don't
Well,
I
so
don't know.
you're in need for a mall.
I guess I don't have any more. So, yeah.
And this thing is amazing. I'd say it's worth 4,000 gold.
I thought you said it's a mall, not a mace.
I didn't
It's
say
a mall.
mace.
You said it's a macing.
I think Grim's teacher's been through here.
What's your intelligence?
Have you met a barbarian just by chance?
A barbarian. Maybe.
I'm gonna try
Why?
this. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on, Andy. Oh, give me.
Produces curiously drawn picture of Bjorn. Oh boy. Yeah, because I have a fucking stat block for the Valley Girl, Christian.
Why
You
don't
knew I was
You
gonna
should.
do this.
Okay, so what do I gotta roll? As an action, you can make a charisma persuasion check contested by an insight check. The creature must
I'd
be
say
okay.
she's not really wise.
No, go ahead and make a
Oh, hold on, inspiration.
You're spending inspiration on this?
Oh yeah,
25.
that's better. Much better.
So a successful check. You know the creatures. If you succeed on the check, they're hostile at disadvantage on attack rolls. If you succeed on the check and the
They're
creature
charmed
isn't
by
hostile
me.
to you, they're charmed for 1 minute. While charmed, it regards you as a friendly acquaintance. Okay.
I think this thing could be worth up to 4,000 gold.
I don't know. That's a really big number. I don't.
Well, let's make a deal.
Is that more than 1900?
Just a little bit, but
Okay.
I have a deal for you.
I don't know if I can even count that high.
Well, I'm making a deal so you don't even have to count.
Okay.
What if you give me and my friend both sets of armor and me 2 swords? And then we'll just do it fair trade deal. You didn't even have to count
Um,
anything.
I don't even know how many a few swords.
2.
6.
Just give me 2 swords.
She looks for a second. Her mouth is like wide open as she's thinking. Her eyes kind of move from side to side.
I don't
I don't
think I've
think I
ever
can do
seen.
that. I think I only sold that mall for, like, I don't even know. I think it was like 500 gold.
Well, this mall is so much better.
But yours is
And
kind
we're
of
fri-
icky.
But we're friends, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of cute, but you're a little short.
You want to know something
I
even
laugh at
better?
him.
I flip off Treek from behind me. I come from a royal family,
Really?
from celebrities.
Oh my
From
God.
what type of trees?
Okay, and
Well,
you
wait.
can't give me
Did you
that
say
bullshit.
trees or did you say? Did you see? Wait. Her mouth is like open again. Or did you say celibacy? Because that's. I don't know. Are we friends? Are you hitting on me?
I'm not hitting
That's
on
what
you.
he's doing. That's definitely what he's.
Treek, shut up.
All right, listen. He's talked to you a lot. I'm wondering. You seem like the kind of person who's pretty lucky. What do you think? You ever tried
Probably
your hand at
not. I mean,
gambling?
I don't. I'm not supposed to gamble anymore. I had
Anymore.
someone ask me if I could throw a sword farther than 50 meters.
Mhm.
And it turns out that's a lot of meters. And I threw it and they just went over it, picked it up, and ran.
Oh man, that's rough. You know what? You should try
Like,
that.
they
but with
didn't even
armor.
pay me. They just took
No,
it.
so
They didn't even bring it back.
Man, that's hard.
Andy,
That's rough.
I'm really concerned how easy it is for you to access this character.
I'm just watching Treek right now try and figure this out.
What did you say your name? Yeah, me too. Yeah.
I think it was Elise. Or maybe.
Okay.
No. They just call me Ellie.
Ellie. Oh, I really like the name Ellie. It's a shame.
What? Abby's
What?
looking at me weird.
I hope you don't know an Ellie, Andy.
I know girls with a lot of names, dude. I don't.
Yeah, sure.
Anyways,
Anyway.
I didn't
That's
know.
what my character I was gonna bring for Curse of Strahd, but you just went and ruined
Was it really?
it.
Ellie?
Yes.
You need to play some The Last of Us. It needs to be something.
So, I mean. And I guess I'd have to wash it, which I think takes water, which I probably have at home. I'm not sure.
I'm
Okay,
sure you
here's
do.
what I'll give you. Give you. I'll give you some armor. And maybe a sword. It depends on what sword you want, though.
I'll pick up a longsword or cutlass if they have one.
1 minute wears off from your panache. She says,
I'd say she's dumb enough that she didn't realize it even happened.
yeah, she looks at you and she says, that's weird. I think I'm sick. I just got a headache.
Well,
Oh,
do you want
Anyways.
some ale?
No, I'm not supposed to drink that either. My parents told me that it made me really quiet as a baby. But
Oh no.
now people try to give it to me all the time. So,
How about a root beer barrel? Some candy?
no, they said no beer, especially not a whole barrel.
Definitely. Okay, so right now.
So hold on. So we decided that you would give us 2 sets of armor and 2 swords.
I don't.
That's
Wait, how
what you
many is
just-
2?
And I'll pick up 2 of them. You just told me that I could have these 2.
Oh, I think I told you 1. The
Treat-
one is
what
like
did you-
this, and she holds up one finger in front of her, and I think this is 1. I think that an armor and a sword, and I think it kind of depends on the sword. Otherwise, I might get in trouble.
So 2 armors and 1 sword. That sounds like a deal to me.
You cut out.
I said so. So 2 armors and 1 sword, and that'll be fine.
No, two's too many. I can barely count that high. I think that's like almost as much as 19 or
It's not.
5.
It's not. Trust me. I do math really well. Really good.
I do too. Like that's the one class I actually went to.
Yeah.
That's
I
good.
think I did pretty well. But anyways, so here I'll give you this, and she like folds up like one set of studded leather and 1 sword out towards you, and she says, "And I guess that I'll clean up the mall and I'll try to sell it. But I mean, I've literally sold like 2 in I don't remember how many days it was, but I think I've sold 2 because that's more than 1 in less than 5. So yeah,
Well, if you
Okay.
like trading, do you like bows? Do you sell a lot of bows, long bows?
no, they don't look very good on my hair. Like some
Yeah.
people say that I just lose them all the time,
Yeah, I know. I feel that.
and
How about
then
any-
they tell me that I should put them on my shoes too. And I
Oh,
don't even know how to make a bow for my shoes, so I just kind of stuff them inside and stand on them as I walk around all day. I don't strip on them that way either.
Yeah, that makes sense.
While she's talking to Treek, I drop down 400 gold and 82 silver, and I say that's 500. So I'm gonna grab another sword.
She looks at it and she says, "Wait, you dropped down silver?
Yeah.
You dropped down 400 silver.
Nope.
That's what you
I
just said, I
dropped
thought.
I dropped down 200. I dropped down 400 gold. Actually, how much did you say the weapons were worth? Before
500.
500 for weapons and for armor.
Yes.
Okay, I said I dropped down 400 gold and 82 silver, and I say that's 500.
She looks at you and she's like, "Okay, it's not like I'm dumb. I know that those are different flavors.
Different flavor?
Yeah, one of them tastes kind of like my cups at home, and the other one kind of like this
Yes.
ring this dude gave me. And he was pretty mad when I walked away with it, and whatever. But I know the different flavors. You're not fooling me.
Do you have silver cups?
I think she
I
has gold
think.
cups. What
You look
color?
you look at her ring finger, and she is wearing a silver ring.
Oh no, she has gold cups. Okay. I sling my old longbow up my back, and I say I hold out and I say, "Have you ever seen one of these before? Do you?"
A stick, yeah.
Yeah, stick with a string though. Do you have any sticks? and
That's a
strings?
fishing rod.
Yeah. Do you have any of those?
No, I just sell weapons.
Do you have any ones that look like you can hurt people?
I mean, if you put a hook on it, it could hurt. Duh.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Okay, I know I have like basically telepathy under a different name, like awakened mind, I believe it's called. So I want to like talk to Bosco.
Yes,
when I start.
please awaken her mind. This will be great.
Yeah, I don't think I have that much power. I'm only level 3. No, just the Bosco.
Okay.
And I'll tell him, Bosco, just that I have Mage Hand, and I feel like if there's anyone that would fall for the old tap on the shoulder, it would be this lady. So if you have any if you're eyeing any daggers or something.
I'm gonna walk away from the desk real quick, and I'll message to Treek, and I'll say, I have this spell that has shiny lights. I bet we could get her to run away with the lights.
I tap Jan on the shoulder. I'm like, you've got to see this.
I want to cast
Okay.
this.
I'm just standing there enthralled, watching this exchange
on.
happen.
Hold on, I'm making this better. I want to sleight of hand it so nobody noticed I did it.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a sleight of hand.
27.
She can't even roll that high. Great. Where do you put the lights, Christian? Bosco?
In front of her, and then
So-
walking away. They can move.
She looks at these lights, and one of them's like, it appears right in front of her nose, and she picks up a great sword, and she says, "Flying spider!" Whack! And crashes it down into the table, cutting the light into little particles. As you're walking away, you're thud falling by the rattling of metal on the table.
She's like,
And the nicely arranged swords and armors, one of the armor pieces is now completely lacerated from this great sword.
The greatest thing, I have 3 more that are walking away.
Okay.
that was sweet.
I don't know why you put a spider over here. I don't like spiders. Not even the ones. Or the ones with the feathers either.
The ones with the feathers.
Do you like magic berries? I have magic berries.
Is that some sort of joke to you? That's disgusting.
What? No, for real. Magic berries, berries that are magic.
At least my new
Whatever,
favorite
creep.
character.
Okay,
Oh,
hold
man.
on. I walk back as I'm moving the globes away. Do you know what these ones are? And I'll show her a platinum.
Yeah, those are the different flavor, the spicy ones.
Are they
No,
worth
they're not.
more than the other ones?
Well, they're good for cooking with, I guess.
That's about it.
Oh my gosh, this is the fucking greatest game ever.
I'll whisper to Nitra, be like, "What is going on?"
I don't know. You just gotta watch. It gets better.
I'll say Treek, if we should just give her some money and she'll
Get over here.
and then we're done.
So, do you want the armor and the sword for your icky hammer or no?
Well, seeing how I already took the armor and the sword, yes.
Okay, but did you give me the hammer?
Yes.
Oh, ick. This is gross. Why is this even on my table? Okay, fine. Whatever.
Here, I'll take it off the table.
No,
if
no,
you
no.
really
I gotta
want.
clean it, and then I gotta give it to. Whatever. I'll just clean it up. I think I have some cleaning thing at home.
Do you
I
want
don't
me
remember
to?
what it was though.
I know how to
Berries?
clean it. Do you want me to bring it back to you later?
No, like I have strawberry juice at home. It's fine.
Okay, that's good.
That's like
Hey.
the only way that I know how to take the stains out. Okay, it just makes the
Mm.
wood look a little more red, and it kind of tints the metal a bit, but it's fine. It tastes really good too. And when I don't
Mm.
have a lot of customers,
you know
it's something
not
that I
made
can
out
lick.
of wood, right?
What do you think the hand was made out of?
It's made out of the stuff that you like to put in your mouth.
El Terrell? What are you talking about? That's disgusting.
The metal. It's a metal stick.
This is legit a wooden haft of a mall. Just saying.
No, it's not. We're arguing about something that's wrong.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm gonna pull up the rapier that I used to use before Mirage and be like, okay, so since we're doing trades, I'll give you this for the other armor that you have.
Why would I
You
want a
can just-
porcupine?
Because porcupines are really good against your enemy.
No, they're kind of smelly and they're hard to clean. And they don't even do anything. Like if you put them up on the table, they don't. They're the worst pet I've ever been sold.
Yeah, this one isn't a pet though. This one is specifically for stabbing people.
Well, that's not a very good trick. Is it like dead? I don't even
Oh.
get it. Like you're trying to sell me your magic berries and a fishing pole, and now you're trying to sell me a. Like, what do I look like to you? Some type of connoisseur of stupid items?
Yes.
Are you the only one
No.
that works here?
No, I'm not the only one that works here. I don't even work here. They just left this place unattended, and I saw the spicy coins, and I thought, well, those look good. So I came over one day, and they said, "Do you want to work here?" And I said, "Yeah, I guess if I get to lick the spicy coins." And they said, "Sure, I guess."
When do
So
they
now I
get
just come
back?
here every night. Who?
Do the other people come during the daytime?
Mm,
Oh boy.
okay, well, I hope you like your armor and your weapons, because now I have to
never
clean
got a
up your stupid mall.
response.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Do the other people who had you work here come in the daytime?
I
you only
don't
come at
know.
night?
I told you that. I don't know who you're talking about.
Who owns this booth?
I do. That's why I'm behind it. Duh.
Okay, I'm tired of this. And I give her the gold for the other sword, like we discussed. But I divide the 400 into 5 squares. I don't think she can count.
She looks at it and she looks at the height, and what she does is she plants her arm on the table, and you can see where she's got like tattoos, and it goes up to a certain height. It says
You're
100, then it says
lying.
200, and then it says 300, and then if she extends her
Ugh.
fingers, then it goes up to 400, and her fingers are like right at the top of the stack, and she looks at it and she says, "This isn't enough. I'm not stupid."
Oh no.
Actually, it is enough because it's more than the 400 number that you saw.
No, you just put it in different stacks. Look, I have one for each of my fingers
No,
stacked,
I'm
and the
telling
arm,
you,
if I
there's
stack
more
them
than
all, it makes it
400
tall.
there.
How many did you put on the table?
405. There's more than 400 there.
Yeah, but she can
not
count to 5.
No, she said she couldn't count to 5.
She has one for each finger. 5 is one of the numbers
You are
can count.
lying because she said I don't know how to count to 5.
To be
Was one
fair,
of her
Andy, you did say at
statements.
one point that it was more than 1, but less than 5, probably.
Which is the number of fingers she has on one hand. Duh. Look, I have 5
Anyway.
fingers. I'm not like that freak over there that's missing fingers. And she says, one stack, here, look, my pinky, then my ring finger, and she licks the ring for a second, and then she puts it back. And then her third finger, and her fourth finger, and her fifth finger. And she's like, look, that's 5. You have 5 stacks, and then one small stack with 5 more on it. That means that you have 504.
Exactly.
Well, then what are you doing here?
You're handing me the sword, right?
What sword?
I take the sword and I walk away and I say, pleasure doing business with you. Good luck, Treek.
Hey, you left your spicy ones on the table. Did you want these?
What spicy ones?
Never mind.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. He was putting that toward my armor there.
Okay, so what did you actually do in that transaction?
I got 2 swords and I got a set of studded leather armor.
For a mall, and how much coin did you think you put down?
400 gold.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was it.
Okay.
And how many spices?
None, because I took it all back.
Anyway,
This is
I
so
feel like
great.
that's not really a huge point. It is
Okay.
so great. All right, fine. Then I want. All right, so I want to talk to Pete with our mind brains because we can. And,
Your mind brains? Excuse
Yes, our mind. Yes, you heard me right. I'm in the medical field.
Oh, I forgot about the mind brain.
Yes.
That's right next to the occipital lobe, right?
Oh, it's so close. I think you have a lisp there when you're pronouncing it. It's occipital lobe.
Oh, my
Ah.
bad.
Anyway.
Okay, what are you asking, Pete?
So I'm gonna tell Pete. First of all, can we both see the? Is there a suit of studded leather on the workbench in front of us? Or...
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna tell Pete that when she's not looking, to snag it with her teeth and then just walk off.
Yes, let's have the cow steal from the woman who just swung at a dancing light like it was a spider with an enchanted greatsword.
That is correct. Yes. And then I'm
Can
going
I
to
get some
say.
popcorn for Deidre and I?
Is anyone gonna stop Treek from being arrested in the mall?
You said there was actually
So-
no guards here.
Oh yeah, are there guards here? That's a
There
good-
I see
definitely
them.
are. There
Are
weren't
there
in the
guards?
city that you saw. There are definitely guards here.
All right. I look around. Do I see any guards that can see this booth?
You tell me.
No.
Give me a
Kyle.
perception check.
Kyle.
I know. I saw who you were picking, but I want to. All right, perception coming up.
We just got out of trouble.
No, dude, it looks clear as shit. You don't see any
Alright.
guards here. This looks like a
I-
prime opportunity.
I
Alright, I'm gonna-
stop him before we do this and get another in trouble.
I'm unable. I am literally dumbfounded by this entire thing that's happening.
All right, I'm gonna point across, past her shoulder and be like, "Who is that?" And then I'm gonna run
Your mom.
Close, actually. Close, actually. I'm gonna keep running and on my back and be like, "Is this you?" And
She
as
looks
soon as
over at you, Bosco, and she says, "That guy's really creepy and kind of dumb." That's me saying that.
I know. He would
when I'm
like
out of
a
sight,
set of armor. How much would that cost me?
500 gold, duh.
What if I have these shiny silver ones instead?
No, I don't like those ones as much. Those taste like my ring. Like, they're fine. They're not as good.
What about the other shiny silver ones I have?
What, spicy ones?
Yeah, the spicy ones.
I mean, spicy ones are fine. I still need a lot of them.
Like 5? Or
No,
like
I
10?
need like 55, I think. Yeah, something like that.
Like 10?
No, I need like, if I put both my hands down and put a finger on each one, then I need like 11 of those, or maybe it's like 10 and a 5 or something like that. I don't know.
Are you sure you need that much? You
Yeah,
know what
otherwise
for
I'm gonna
like
get fired, and then I don't get to eat all the shine.
You mean the ones that I'm giving you? Those are the ones you're eating?
Well, yeah, but I can only take a few at a time. Otherwise, I'm gonna get in.
What if I give you this shiny ring that tastes just as good as the spicy ones?
I don't like the spicy ones. They're too hot. They're only good to cook with.
yeah, that's true.
What if I give you this pretty rope?
Look, I don't know what you're on about. This is pretty simple. Like, I give you guys the things on the table. I don't think it's that crazy. Like, okay, I think that you should leave before I
Okay.
call the guards over because they like me a lot for some reason and they don't like it when.
Nidra, I need 500 gold.
Oh, come on.
All right. As I went out of
Please,
sight,
Treek
Bosco
is
distracted
going to
her.
die.
Oh,
I'm pretty
nope.
fast.
Come
Anyway,
on, Nidra. Did you
I'm
keep
gonna.
your gold in my bag?
No.
I'm gonna reach in the bag and see if I have Nidra's gold in there.
I literally don't carry my gold in the bag of holding though.
Doesn't seem like there's any gold there.
Come on, Nidra.
I
Treek's
will
gonna
give
die.
500
Anyway.
gold to Treek
I
if he
wanna.
wants.
No, he
No,
doesn't.
Kyle, don't get us in
He's
trouble.
he's casting disguise self behind these barrels, and he wants to cast it so he looks like Ellie.
I'm gonna walk up to the girl and give her 500 gold because she doesn't like the spicy ones, and then get the armor.
Okay, Treek, make a deception check with advantage.
I don't know if I'm any good at deception. Actually, I don't think I've ever tried to
Crap.
deceive anyone. Doo-doo. Where even is that button? Okay.
She turns around and she sees an image of herself, and I'm gonna move you up there because you've committed to this. And
Ellie!
you kind of sneak up behind her,
Emma.
and she says, "Oh my God, sis, what are you doing here? Get the hell away!" And she swings the same greatsword at you.
All right.
26 to hit.
That'll hit. She's pretty. Good job. Wow. Okay, yeah, that hit.
You take 11 points of slashing damage as I cleave into.
All right.
Sis,
so
that's not cool. You weren't even.
I'm gonna be like, well, come catch me, and I'm gonna disengage and take one.
She sighs and looks back over at Yana, who's counting out coins on the table, and she's like, "Freak. God, I don't know why she doesn't even have a job anymore. Like, she just works at that stupid blacksmith and makes stupid tools." Are you buying this for Treek or no?
Yeah, I'll buy it for him.
I tried so hard. All right, I'm just gonna blow a raspberry at her, like, and then I'll go back behind the barrels and change.
Okay. Go ahead and mark off 500 gold from your character sheet. Treek, you get a +1 set of studded leather.
I'll ask if she has any bracers.
Dude, do you guys think that I just have everything here? I don't wear braces. I don't about. Like, I really think you should leave because this is kind of weird, and you just keep coming over, and I don't like it. So,
Okay, I just walked up and bought something, but okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
okay, bye. I guess. Whatever. Come back soon. Later.
I love this character.
We just spent like an hour talking to her, and it was like the best hour of the session.
Great.
Before
The
I
character
give,
I prepped nothing for was the one that was the best.
before I give
Do
Nidra
we all
back her
take an
bag,
intelligence? Debuff?
Yeah, you each lose 1d4 intelligence for the remainder of the set. Okay, anything else you guys want to do here?
I want to give Nidra back her bag after I shove my 2 studded leathers in there.
Okay.
What do you mean you're 2 studded leathers?
Well, yeah. What do
I
you
have
mean by
2.
that?
I have 2 extra pairs of studded leather on me.
Why are you giving me this stuff?
We might need it for later.
All
We
right.
literally-
Nope. Jade's excited. She
We
wants to play
hold it.
D&D with us.
How much does studded leather armor weigh?
13 pounds.
Oh my god.
On the bright side, I did strip it off my tabaxi in the last game.
She loves you.
Aw,
Okay, anything
I love
else?
you too, Jade. Plus
That was
one
like
AC.
watching a whole episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. It was great.
2 plus 1. Is it cutlasses or long swords?
I think your cutlass is a longsword, isn't it? What did I do for
Yeah, it is a long
Okay,
sword.
then it's the same thing.
Okay, I was just making sure.
It's
there.
whatever sword you want.
Can I get how long? Looking at the books, do we know about how long it'll take us to get to the well and back?
One-way trip. Make a survival check. You just click the survival button and it rolls it for you. Like, it's really not that hard.
Okay, you need to learn how to separate this from the rest of your life, Andy.
This is my normal voice. I just put on an acting voice for you guys for D&D, so you don't think I'm weird. Okay. Looking at the map, it looks. You're pretty sure it's somewhere between 8 and 10 days. Yeah, she's a crazy puppy. It's somewhere between 8 and 10 days. You're not quite sure.
Okay, can I buy enough proteins for like 2 weeks?
Yeah, we can do that next time too, because we're running out of time.
Okay.
We're gonna be here another week. There's no way, guys.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
another session. So
We've made it less than 1 day here so far.
and a good day it has been.
Okay. Are we going back to the whatchamacallit now? Oh.
I don't know.
How
We
long?
have time for this? Do we have time for this?
Yeah, it shouldn't take long.
Damn right.
Yana versus Shriek in a pie.
Okay,
eating
there's a
contest.
rule here. I'm not gonna do the guy's voice tonight. I'm sorry. I do not have it in me. There's a caveat here. Everyone has to participate.
Well, of course.
Jade?
Sure, let's go.
Jade can eat too. Okay,
I need to go get Panda.
who are we missing?
Yana.
And
Treat.
Yana.
Bosco.
T.
Alright.
Yana.
Jay, be quiet.
Okay. Okay, you guys can do this event once per in-game day. Otherwise, you'll pie and that's it. Too much. Jade, can you take her outside real quick? Hold on, we're relocating the puppy before a pie eating contest.
Right.
Here, I'm gonna go relocate the puppy.
I want one.
I overpaid.
Yeah.
You
How
overpaid.
much platinum did you lose?
It was so much. It was so worth it, though.
Hey, what did you got? 2+1 hammer or 2+1 weapons and +1 armor.
Yeah, but I paid 400 gold. Literally, that weapon probably would have been worth a couple thousand, but there was a stupid tax and it's a mall.
As we get close to 9 o'clock, it's crazy. Okay, so everyone's got to play. You can do it once per in-game day. The rewards are awesome. I have one thing I need you guys to do, which is to open your character sheets, and I need you to get ready to make Constitution saving throws over and over and over.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Oh boy.
All
Great.
right, let's go.
This game's
Is
rigged
Pete
for
playing
Abby.
or what?
Pete's playing too.
Oh boy.
Okay,
Pete
and
does.
we're gonna make this so chaotic and messy. It's gonna be great. So I'm gonna play the music really quickly, and I want you to pay attention to when you're gonna make the saving throws. Okay. Get ready for this. Ready? And it would be wait for it, and saving throw. Got it? All right, so we're going to go from the top. Ready? Did everyone mark off 5 gold from their sheet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Alrighty. I'm going to light up the DCs for you guys, and whenever you fail a DC, I'm going to have you guys stop. And whoever's the last person standing gets to pick their prizes.
We actually. Do you have Treek?
Everyone see the DCs there?
Oh boy. Yeah.
Okay. Is anyone not ready?
Wait,
Alrighty.
already? I thought we already made the save. I'm so confused.
We're going. Ready,
Yeah, going with
set,
the music.
and let's do this. Go. Treek's out. Go. Yana's out.
No!
I think I'm out now. I
Go.
think I made too many saves.
Go.
Yes.
Go.
Oh, I'm out.
All right.
Yeah.
As Treek goes and polishes down the last pie of the evening. I think he made it 5 rounds in. That round, 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like 5 rounds.
Baba Boo.
Nidra, you are keeping up pace, eating multiple flavors of pies next to Treek.
That's Pete,
And
yeah.
you get onto your 5th pie. The nausea is setting in rapidly. You're seeing doubles or maybe triples. The world is spinning around you. And all of you except for Treek collapse as he is. Was that Treek or Pete?
It was Pete, definitely.
Oh my goodness. Pete, you are sorry, I apologize. You are staring down a cow, trying to eat as many pies as you can, and you pass out, not unconscious, but to the ground as you see Pete polish off 6 and then 7 pies at the end of it before being stopped. So this is awkward because I have to have you guys select prizes, and Pete won.
No,
So
we
I'm
took
gonna-
it.
Select.
I'm gonna let Treek decide. Treek, your major prize is a potion of healing for the first round you guys played. So you can add that to your inventory.
Okay.
I need you to choose between a commemorative tankard, a commemorative blanket, or a commemorative flask.
Play the blanket.
Okay, you get a commemorative blanket. And for your minor prize, I need you to choose, well, yeah, this is going to be hard, between a stuffed cow, a stuffed duck, and a stuffed golden retriever stuffed animal.
Oh man. Whew, that is hard. I think the
Go
trigger
with
really has
duck.
tired. Go with the duck, he says. Duck is definitely last choice. 100%. I already have a cow, that's the problem. I think I'll get the retriever actually.
Okay, so make sure to add to your inventory a potion of healing, it's a normal one, a commemorative blanket, and a stuffed animal golden retriever.
Okay, and then I'll hand the golden retriever to Nidra for getting some serious.
Thank you.
Aww. Dude, Treek's like hitting on you this evening.
How old's Streak?
What? Like, I mean, he's older because he's an elf, but he looks like he's like 17.
Okay.
Well, that's
So.
awkward.
Yeah.
Anyways, before this budding romance goes too far, it's going well into the evening now. You guys have spent kind of flown by. You guys, with the remainder of your night, make your way back to the Dusty Hoof Inn and to your respective rooms. And stall, I guess. Let's see here.
It's
This
a
is
room.
easy. You guys sleep through the night. just fine, except for Treek. Treek takes 1 point of exhaustion.
Oh man, even with my commemorative blanket.
Yeah, I know I didn't move you there. I'm just wrapping it. Actually, I guess I can move you to a tavern. That's a good spot to stop. So you guys kind of find your ways back to your bed. Congratulations. Tonight you guys are going to level up. Sorry, he took your bed. Oh God, my letters. And then Pete and Treek are over here. So Pete and Treek both suffer 1 point of exhaustion for your poor living conditions. I don't even know where. Oh, there he is. He blends in. But nonetheless, you guys quote unquote sleep through the night. I mean, most of you do. And next week, you guys will wake up for your second day in Scornubel. Think about on the off time this week. Think about what foods you want to buy for the travel, any last minute travel preparations, side quests you want to do, stuff like that. This is the last stop on the road until the Well of Dragons. So I encourage you to look over the resources that I've given you guys to purchase from here, stuff like that. If you have questions, let me know. I know I can't leave you on like all apps, so I'll do my
I
best
would
to
like
fit you guys
to,
in.
if we have a little bit of time, or I could do that whenever.
We'll do it next week because Abby's make a note of it. I've got to get Abby home. So yeah, think about what you want to do next week, and everyone that's been watching and listening, thanks. This was an interesting session. I guess we'll be back next week for our next session here in Scornubel. Probably the last, maybe not the last if they really enjoy it, session before we make our way on to the finale at the Well of Dragons. So, catch us next week at some time that's yet to be determined. Probably our normal time, question mark?
Working, but so I'm free the entire weekend in the morning though. So
Okay, well, we'll figure it out. So join us next weekend. Twitch notifications are cool.
Same bat time.
And anyways, yeah, we will we'll catch you then. So thanks for watching.